the little VIP thing.
Okay, here we go. So basically, this is on Oasis Gardens, which is a relatively short sightline map. There are a lot of flanks. There are some angles that you can take, like longer sightlines, but a relatively short sightline map. So you can see a lot of different comps in this map. Now, American Tornado is going to be rolling out on Sombra McCree Brawl. And basically what this composition does is it's basically saying, hey, we are going to be running Brawl, okay? So we're going to play Brawl, we're going to rotate really quick, we're going to clear out your angles, we're going to clear out your high ground. You can't match us straight to straight, toe to toe. You have to try and pull us apart, but we're going to be very fast while we do that. And the key thing here, the unusual thing, I don't know Commune 4, I haven't watched enough. Like, I'd have to study POVs to know. The unusual thing here is that there's no May, and that this is Sombra. Now, I'm going to ask a question, I'm going to answer it, but I want you guys to think, why would you not play May here? Well, there's one key important reason why you wouldn't play May here, is May is probably the most powerful DPS in the Brawl mirror, because the wall utility is extremely high. It forces a lot of resources, as well as an ultimate like Blizzard, increasing in value when the enemy team has a lot of slower, immobile heroes like Kree and like Ryan. But when they're not on Brawl, May wall isn't going to stop a Sombra or a Tracer very much, or a Ball as much, or a D.Va, or a Ball, right? It's gonna not be as effective, as well as May ult's going to really only be able to catch the squishy backline, and you're going to have to throw it a pretty decent distance. So May wall, May all that kind of stuff is not as good. As well as you, as American Tornado, you would like something that will allow you to control the map a little bit, okay? So because we're looking at this hero here, if we're on May, there's nobody on this comp can split off, really. It's into this comp, because if D.Va gets split too far, she's going to get hacked, pressured by Tracer, she's going to get discorded, the enemy D.Va will rush her down, it's not going to be good, right? Kree can't split off too hard because he'll get dove. Moira Lucio, obviously no range at all, don't want to split. Ryan doesn't want to get split too much, so it's like all sort of clumped up. So when you introduce the Sombra, obviously she has to be very careful, because like her translocator can be discorded and things like that, but she can at least put a little pressure. Like if Ball goes a little bit too aggressive, she can hack the Ball, right? If Ball gets isolated on a sightline, like on a flank, she can isolate and kill the Ball. If let's say that they're going to run down and kill the Briggs in backline, they can almost quote unquote dive it by having Ryan, speed boosted Ryan, and then a Sombra on the backline shooting them, the Briggs in, right here, right? You see this pincer here? This could work as well. And that's the key thing. Now, the reason why you would not run Tracer here, there's a couple reasons why. It might be because Speedly is more comfortable in Sombra and doesn't feel confident on Tracer. The main reason why I think would be because this composition has no way to really support a Tracer. So Sombra can kind of be in, and then she's out, and then she's in, and then she's out, and you don't necessarily need to heal her to stay in. She's going to come in and out kind of on her own regard, whereas Tracer is more consistent, needs more consistent healing, right? She doesn't want to run away and start all over again. And if you're running Moira Lucio, you have no way to heal a flanker. So you want a flanker that's like in some ways Tracer's more self-sufficient, but Tracer's also going to want to need, she do like Harmony Armor, she like armor packs. Sombra can live without it. So it's an interesting pick. I think Tracer could still work, but again, comfort pick here. This comp is basically going to be about doing one of two things. One, it's going to be about spam, like so sightlines, like longer range with this hero particularly. Like it's weird thinking that like, oh, these guys outspam these guys, but they kind of do. Even with the McCree, the Discord, the potential of having your Tracer with a Harmony Orb just peppering, and obviously the fact that Ball actually could do a little bit of spam damage as well means that these guys will probably play a little bit of a longer sightline. And the second key thing too is that they want to control the map. So you have these many like very, very mobile to dive heroes. Any of these guys split, they die. So they kind of clump up. So what you do is, remember, you don't beat them head on, right? We've talked about that kind of matchup a lot of times. You do not beat them head on. The only way you beat them is by pulling them apart. If American Tornado rush you like right through here, you need to be hitting them with your Sombra from high ground on here, and you need to be shooting your Zen spam as they come at you, and the Tracer with Harmony Orb pressures them from here, and maybe as they go in, the Ball slams them in here, and then the D.Va's on the high ground here, like you want to pull them apart. Spam, multiple different angles, multiple different sightlines, because you can't beat them head on. A spider can't beat a rhino straight on. She's got to bite and pull and stretch, and like you got to think about a death by 1,000 bee stings, right? And so that means that Lucamino and Rack Attack need to heavily support these guys, because these guys, and Rhino as well, need to put as much damage and as many different like spam angles as possible on these guys.
But
what about Reaper? The problem with Reaper is he doesn't threaten these guys. He doesn't threaten Sombra. He doesn't threaten Tracer. He doesn't really threaten D.Va. He only maybe threatens Ball, but Ball is like if he's getting matrixed or whatever, it's not gonna be, and he doesn't threaten these guys hardly at all. So he's not quite fast enough, if that makes any sense. And because he has no realistic range at all, he's not a threat at all to a lot of heroes. Spiders are now beasts. That's not what I meant.
To that Sombra and the
So we want to see these guys split, right? Split. We don't want to give them an American Tornado an easy win condition of running it down.
Who's gonna get more value?
By the way, chat, why is this already 1-0? Does anyone know why? I have no idea why it's already 1-0. Maybe it wasn't telecasted.
Out
whatever.
Of those initial hacks, it is also important for these D.Vas.
Does anybody know why?
To go for those spy checks. So if you see Vulcan or Ball's kind of tweaking and shooting at air, that's because they're spy checking.
Oh, King on the Farah is very interesting here.
Okay, so they actually go back to the spawn and they swap pharmacy. Same win condition, you know, pulling them apart. The only difference here is that obviously maybe King looks at the situation is like, you know, Sombra's going to be a little rough into the D.Va and Kree. Obviously Moira Lucio as well. So instead I'm going to go a hero that can split like a Sombra, but puts out more spam. The only risk here is that I'm a little concerned for Lucamino, because obviously the risk here is that Lucamino can be dueled by the enemy Sombra. This comp, I feel like would definitely be something that you guys could go they could go Tracer Kree into and absolutely farm, because there's nothing guarding that Zen anymore. Which comp is harder to play?
King on the Farah is
I mean,
very
fundamentally, this comp is like the more advanced, but at this level of the game, they're probably both decent at it.
Here. Well, oh, I was going to say Web could try and deal with that, but never mind. Lucamino's got the opening pick there on to the McCree, and we never Lucamino was incredibly. And
do you see how like do you look at look at what Odyssey's doing? 1, 2, there's spam coming from this angle, and there's also spam coming from above, pulled from multiple different directions. And especially with a Kree down, they have no way to stop these angles from doing that. They have no spam at all.
Dangerous in their own right. OG's dead.
Odyssey
American Tornado's only win condition is to run it down.
Tournament, and American Tornado thought they were ready for it with the Sombra to hack either one.
What I would have liked is after the McCree's dead, especially, is you know you're not going to get point cap, because you're not going to be able to stabilize on point and just like survive and then cap, right, and then rush down. What I would have liked American Tornado to do, and what they need to do even if after they get point cap, is they need to not run it down mid. They need to run it down this way and maybe pincer this way. You could have Sombra on the back line, and like Lucamino has to be pincered. You need to rotate after these guys.
The opening pick there on to the McCree.
When you're diving into brawl,
Lucamino was incredibly
you're looking to split up,
split
up and pincer
in their own right.
From multiple different sidelines.
Odyssey have shown this hand before in the tournament in American.
But yeah, this is because like you see how American Tornado, when they chase, all they do is they open up their backline even further. There's no way they win that fight like that.
You're gonna be in a bit of a
no way.
And Odyssey now that
Speedily on to
Speedily on Tracer. Okay, that's as expected. So the Tracer, in my opinion, is an excellent swap into this. And then they're gonna go on it as well, which is kind of strange. Maybe that's because of the pharmacy. You know, maybe more range support on your Tracer.
We know
oh, okay, they're gonna go ball. So this is okay. Like, I remember, I watched a decent amount of this, but not a lot. So I missed this.
Sigma. That is asking.
So basically, now you're thinking, okay, we're also gonna control the map on you guys. But the difference between us and you is when we control the map, your squishies are more likely to die, right? You have squishier heroes. Our heroes not so squishy when we control the map. So shorter sightlines, longer sightlines. I like this comp better. The Kree is kind of an odd one because he is kind of isolated a little bit, but he can work.
The most of a DPS.
Can you go into D.Va's role to both these comps? Yeah, D.Va's job, Vulcan's job is is going to be essentially enabling Rhino to go into the comp when they do dive to put pressure from. So like D.Va is really just another angle in of herself. D.Va is just an angle in of herself. She's either hard peeling her Zen Mercy, or she's putting pressure on the enemy team when Rhino does anything. And she's putting pressure so that she can either shoot or she can matrix, right? She needs to be in a position to where she can pick and choose what's a priority. For American Tornado, False's job is to put pressure, again, on the enemy team. Likely we'll be looking a lot at Pharah. If for whatever reason they do hard go for the Ana Brig, you need to peel these guys off as well. But again, pressure. Why Ana over Zen into Pharah? You go Ana over Zen into Pharah because in this situation right here, they're anticipating these guys needing a lot of healing early on. They need a lot of healing early on. That's why. And also, it's a little harder to retake a Zen when there's already a Tracer ball set up, because there's a risk if they just have their best flanks and that you might just die even with a Brig. Zen would definitely work. Like, Zen would absolutely be fine, but yeah. It's really not a major thing. Zen would be fine. Vulcan should be going Zinni or Pharah? I mean, depends.
Yeah.
Depends on who gets pressure.
They might be able to get some extra support. Ultraviolet moving over here onto the Ana. It's quite interesting to see if this is going to allow them to try and play in a safer position and allow for them to.
American Tornado needs to split.
Reiner on their dives from a while away.
The Kree on a Brig can kind of function as a 3-man unit because you can't dive that. And then they need to find a way for Speedily, False, and Shape or Reiner to get stuff done.
Be continuously thinking about where Reiner on their dives from a while away, but they have to.
So they rotate through, they pressure Luke.
Thinking about where Reiner and King are.
And as long as
and you see what this does? Do you see what this does? Do you see how look at the Pharah? Do you see this? Them not even hard committing, just soft pressuring Luke, forced Rack Attack and King back to peel off Luke Mino. And now this allows these guys to rotate, and really these guys to rotate without taking like any spam from the Pharah at all. It's like you scare them, they all, and then they just rotate for free.
Thinking about where Rhino and King are.
And as long as you keep Luke.
I don't know what happened there, but that was sloppy. I mean, right now Rhino is 1 HP. I'm not sure what Sigma was doing. He's down in blinks as well, but yeah, a little bit of a missed time pressure there.
Gonna come after him, and Sigma gets a little too close to the sun. You do not
Speedily
saved because you know Speedily's gonna come after him, and Sigma gets a little too close to the.
Yeah, so both Tracers just kind of overstayed their welcome. Like they need to go in, provide a burst of value to their team. So Sigma kind of was delaying Kree on a Brig from rotating along with Rhino, right? These two guys were kind of combining to slow these guys down. And at the same time, Shape and Speedily were pressuring Luke Mino so that they could help their team rotate. But the problem is that both these Tracers overextend. They both overstayed their welcome. They applied pressure, they scared people, and then they needed to screw off and then wait for the next cycle with their ball. Instead, they both overstayed their welcome, they get chased down, and they both die. That's sloppy.
Son, you do not want to duel with that McCree BS flashbang, or at least don't be in range of it.
I really don't like the Pharah now.
Though 5 versus 5 is this poke damage from Odyssey, you know, from the far.
They do have an ult spike though.
Luke Camino's transcendence was forced after him, and Sigma gets a little too close to the sun. You do not want to duel with that McCree BS flashbang, or at least don't
all
be
they
in
need to do
range
is
of
just
it.
keep looking at Pharah, and it's over.
5 versus 5 is this poke damage from Odyssey, you know, from the far going to be enough. But Luke Camino's transcendence was forced, and one is sleep from Ultraviolet to stop the far barrage.
And it's just ult diff, really.
Hard for Ultraviolet to react that fast.
If Speedily lives there, very winnable though.
And Sigma will get the finish, gets the recall, probably.
It's just ult diff. Like it's just like Luke Mino's in the middle of nowhere. He tried to trance to survive. And then King gets a 1 kill off of his barrage, and that's all you need. So I think False needed to do a much better job there tracking where was False.
To the sun. You do not want to duel with that McCree BS flashbang, or at least don't be in range of it. Both Tracers are removed though.
Yeah, False is aggressing too much.
Is this poke damage from Odyssey?
Or no.
Both Tracers are removed though. 5 versus
no, they call a dive on Luke.
Is this poke damage from Odyssey?
But still, False is way ahead of the game. False just sees an opportunity and just goes, but he's way ahead of Shape.
You know, from the far
costs him his mech and then the barrage. So that's either a miscommunication on American Tornado or False just feeds one or the other.
Got a lot of headshots.
That should not have happened because that allows the barrage to happen.
Back towards his,
both these Tracers overextending a great deal, man.
But now has to go back towards his healers and speedily gets the last
blast. Ult diff.
This could be an opening for American Tornado.
False scuffs it up a little bit.
Grenade there from Ultraviolet. I think it slipped under the bench and didn't actually have line of sight on the Ana themselves. Didn't get the self-healing that they wanted. And right now, I feel like American Tornado don't have the pace. Didn't get the self-healing that they wanted. And right now, I feel like American.
Okay, so I mean, this is American Tornado's fight to lose really here, especially once they get that Nano boost on charge. Like, I mean, it's not really, that's not really fair. But this will, like, hopefully we get some ultimates online here for American Tornado.
So characteristic of their previous rounds. Remember, guys, this is a 1st to 4. It is going to be a long haul.
Like, do you see how cautious Luke Mino is playing right now? Like, he has to play like a complete beta.
What we're going to be here for, and Sigma's already taken a little bit of damage, going to force him to step aside as Speedily sends out a pulse bomb, but gets no kills.
And there's a ball in, ball goes through. Now Wob goes aggressive. Look at King. King's not even looking at him.
Down 5 versus 6. Odyssey have lost their far. They have a Valkyrie. Vulcan.
Oh.
Force him to step aside.
Wait, OG goes back?
And the bench.
This could be an opening.
Line of sight on the Ana themselves. Didn't get the
I think he goes back because of the because there's like, hey, there's only Tracer. Like, honestly, in ball, like, they're not running Sombra, they're not running Echo, and they're not running a Brig of their own, so they're very spammy. So that's actually a pretty decent swap from OG. It's kind of a weird swap, but it makes sense. I didn't even catch that.
Kills off the back of it. He's already taken a little bit of damage. Going to force him to step aside.
And obviously you can't go Mercy because you got nobody to pocket. Like, you're going to be too vulnerable to the dive.
So already taken a little bit of damage. Going to force him to.
Where's Rhino?
It's going to be a long haul. What we're going to, guys. This is a 1st to 4. It is going to be a long haul that we're going to be here for, and Sigma's already taken a little bit of damage, going to force him to step aside as Speedily sends out a pulse bomb, but gets no kills off the back of it.
I mean, this is just a 5v6. Luke Mino is literally going into his spawn and rotating all the way around this way. This is why I just don't like this comp. Like, I think American Tornado threw first fight so hard, and then honestly kind of scuffed up the retake as well, that they're going to be able to get away with it because they're going to hit an ult spike. But you see how, like look at Luke. Like, it's literally a 5v6. Like, look at how scared he is. Like, I honestly feel like the play here would have been, Luke, don't play like a complete beta. Play a little bit more conservative, but like, you have to contribute. Like, we'll Valk and res you, but you can't remove yourself from the fight entirely because it is so easy for them. Because, like, the problem here is that Rhino needs to not get shot by Speedily. You see Speedily right here? Look at Speedily. Speedily cannot live here. We need Harmony and Discord, and this guy needs to screw off.
Be a long haul.
Instead, Speedily is just all in.
And Sigma's already taken a little bit of damage, going to force him to step aside.
Like, there's just Luke can't. Like, Luke is literally chat. He is under. He's about to come underneath. This can't happen.
Rhino down 5 versus 6.
So it's just, they just take space for free.
They have a Valkyrie. Vulcan is using a self-destruct, and the C have lost their far. They have a Valkyrie.
Ultraviolet gets hit by a
5
direct.
versus 6. Odyssey have lost their far. They have a Valkyrie. Vulcan,
I think he gets clipped by Luke Mino, actually.
Using a self-destruct, and the immortality is used to save American Tornado Link for the moment. As Ultraviolet is missing, it's up to OG to keep American Tornado kicking, mainly Speedily and Wub, who are working in unison to take down Odyssey.
What?
Tornado Link for the moment.
Is Rhino gonna clutch?
As Ultraviolet is missing, it's up to OG to keep American Tornado kicking, mainly Speedily and Wub, who are working
Rhino
in
might
unison
clutch
to take down
shot.
Odyssey.
The boy wonder.
Yeah, nice little body block for Rhino.
Probably not.
There. Rhino with a double boom.
Okay, you forced a lot of ults.
And that's enough. Odyssey. For Odyssey.
What?
Self-destruct for false. Maybe he thought he was gonna die. He's still back in this fight. Somehow still gets King. I have no idea how King was in range of that. And that's enough. Odyssey, they poke their heads into that point and they got shut down. So 99% for Odyssey. American Tornado.
Oh yeah, unfortunate.
American Tornado are still in control here.
This is crazy. This fight's still going.
If they can get rid of the Mercy, that might be.
Now this is key. This is literally this is avoided comp. Avoided. You guys remember European Contenders? The win condition of this comp is just the fact that there's nobody to dive as of right now. If you get a hack or pressure on Mercy, maybe, but there's nobody to dive. So obviously the utility of the Zenyatta is missed. There's a lot less damage. There's a lot less spam. But you could be a lot more aggressive with each one of these heroes, knowing that, hey, there's no flex support to peel, right? Like, there's nobody to peel off. In fact, your Lucio could actually dive with you. So it is like the epitome of an actual 6-man dive. And what you're going to see here is you're going to see a lot more aggression from, and by the way, Luke Mino, probably the best Lucio flex support in NA Contenders. I mean, I'm talking out of my hat here, but like, I know he's not a bad Lucio. I know he's actually a pretty solid Lucio. So we can go in very aggressive and not feel any concern about our Lucio backline. As well as, again, we can have pincers here, right? We can have pincers. Pharmacy can come from up here. Lucio can go with a tracer from here. You can have your ball slam in from here. D.Va goes in from here. You have a lot of options here.
Be a stabilizing factor. They want to continue. Spilo, if they can get rid of the Mercy, that might be a stabilizing factor. They want to continue tapping this point. They don't want to be a stick from a pulse bomb.
I mean, this is it.
Reno now will have to try and do
like anybody that touches is going to get all in.
Great target to get the rest of this barrage from.
I like that false.
And Wub is not going to get enough heal to survive.
He's trying to dive rack attack. And you guys heard from OG how difficult it is to live with Mercy, and now that D.Va is in the meta. But nice few picks there from Odyssey, and mainly King is one last. Oh, well.
Questionable.
Not flashbang, but he's still the only one living for American Tornado. And look how the tables have turned. 2 3-0s in a row.
Yeah, this is messy.
Racer and hide
okay. So big takeaway from that was that American Tornado got picked really early on, and scuffed up the retake as well. So I think the main thing for American Tornado to look at is that they needed to find like the brawl execution into the actual spammier style of dive needed to be more pincer related and less just running it down main. Both tracers playing like getting a decent amount of value, but overextending a little bit. And there needs to be, I think what Odyssey did really well was. Like, honestly, they got a lot out of their ults. Like, they got a lot out of their ults. Like, winning just with Barrage and Trance, like, that's good. Like, to me, it's like Luke is like, okay, I'm probably going to be swapping Zen soon here. So, like, I don't need to greed my Trance. Just win the fight. So, honestly, kind of hard to say a lot more than that. Like, exactly how the flank wars went. Like, what the timing was like from there. But,
Sigma so far. Like, there's no clear Tracer diff like we've seen in other matches. But Wub and False have to...
Okay. Again here, this is all about... shorter sightlines, longer sightlines. These guys are like, well, we can't run Ryan. This isn't going to work. We're going to be looking to punish the Zen more than we were doing it before. Really like rotating after the Zen. My only concern with this is that, yes, the BAP is a little bit more versatile versus like actual dive than Ana is, just slightly more versatile. But obviously the concern is that, you know, you're not going to be able to help Tracer. You're not going to be able to help your ball because you cannot support these heroes really any of these heroes, the D.Va a little bit, but you can't support those heroes with BAP heals. It's too hard to heal them, too far away. So the BAP will definitely help keep his Kree alive better than an Ana. He'll definitely keep himself alive better than an Ana, but he's going to struggle to actually like win the flank. So what's going to happen here is Speedily and Shape are going to have to play very careful. They cannot run into Sombra. They cannot run into Tracer. They cannot run into Ball with Harmony, Discord, or Armor Packs because they will not get any sort of sustain. So they need to play very disciplined and cautious. And then once this group of 4 or group of 3 aggressively rotate, then they can aggress and start to pincer backline. The BAP is literally just because of the Kree.
To work together.
It's because with this backline, I don't know why they didn't play Hydran, but Hydran is a good Tracer.
I'm a good Tracer.
And Speedily is probably not a good Tracer. He's probably not a bad Tracer, but he's probably not a good Tracer. And Wub is almost certainly not a good Tracer. Or a good Sombra. So this is the American Tornado gap right now. Is when they don't have Hydron in, they do not have a good Tracer. So you don't have a good flanker, so you have to play awkward comps to play around that. You prefer OG and Brig for packs? Well, the problem is that this comp can't play patiently. They can't, pack our Kree, pack our Tracer, because you will lose. You will lose to the Zen. You have to aggressively rotate after this comp, and you need a Lucio to do that. This is just Brawl. This is Brawl. This is Brawl without Rhine. This is Brawl because Shape wants to play Ball, and Shape doesn't want to play Rhine here, because he doesn't feel like he's going to do anything. I know what you're saying, but this is just Brawl. This is literally just 4-man Brawl, and Speedily on Tracer because he's not going to do anything on May, and Ryan's on Ball because he wouldn't be able to do anything on Ryan. I see what you're saying, but it makes sense to me. Like, you just have to, Ball and Tracer are going to have to play cautious, but like, what is Ryan going to do against this? He's not going to help. Like, they don't need help rotating. They need to pincer. So, yeah.
In the future matches to deal with the if.
It's just, my concern is that this is my concern. This can't happen. Like, he can't be doing this. Because he gets Harmony Orb, Rhino gets Harmony Orb, and Shape has to screw off, right?
The Pharah and Mercy come out again, but this time it's the Sombra and Tracer from Odyssey.
They're gonna go high ground, that's fine.
So Wub wanting to get the stun onto King if he, you know.
What I would like is maybe you could, like, can you roll across here? I don't know if you can, but like, you just play high ground, point unlocks, you drop somebody in point. As soon as these guys start to get more aggressive, you just kind of have to roll in. My only concern is that, you know, it's very easy for them to turtle in here Odyssey needs to be heavily pocketing Sigma and Rhino especially, and like looking to pressure and pressure and pressure and pressure and pressure and pressure. And anybody that touches on the point needs Harmony and Discord. Harmony on this guy shooting them here, and Discord on whoever it is. Heavily.
Out of invisibility near him, and you know, maybe deal with Sigma too if he comes close.
Like, this is goofy to me. This is goofy. Actually, chat, I gotta plug up my computer. Give me 1 second. My laptop is almost dead. 1 second. Actually, give me 1 second, because I don't even need to plug it up. Hang on. Because I always have my laptop on one side, but I could just bring it onto the other and set it on a stool right here, so then I don't have to get anything. So, obviously you don't want to get poked out by McCree, but, But I think that you can, if you have Harmony Orb on, like, I'm just thinking this through, chat, like a Sombra or something here, Harmony Orb, or like packs, like your Brig just peeks back and packs and peeks back and back, and just AFK here. I don't think the McCree can poke them out consistently. And I think you need to start putting pressure now. I don't think you want American Tornado to be full HP.
Sigma does a good job here of, after using their recall, playing very close to their support.
Rhino should not be doing this. This is brain dead. Brain dead Michael play.
Sigma too if he comes close.
You're walking into
Sigma
their
does a good
sideline.
job here of, after using their recall, playing
Like,
very close.
what are your DPS doing right now? Nothing. You just burned two cooldowns? No.
To their support.
I don't know if he's trying to boot them off or what, but I don't think that's worth. I don't know.
And once that recall is back up again.
Now. Flanker war. Now needs to happen. These guys need to get their Tracer and Sombra and balls, butts, and gear.
And it'll be once again a deep insertion for Sigma. In goes Reiner for the nice dive.
Sloppy. Really sloppy from Odyssey. So well done.
It'll be
because look at what's happening here. 1, 2.
Deep insertion for Sigma.
See that? And then the core also aggressively takes space. You see that? Brilliant. They all come in like this. Easy peasy. And look at their HP when they go in.
Sigma does a good job here of, after using their contagious. And once that for the call is back up again, it'll be once again.
Look at their HP. You see this? Look at this. Look at this. What? Come on, man. This is bad dive execution from Odyssey. You're playing a comp where you need to be aggressively defending your backline by aggressively poking out dive tanks and dive heroes. This is sloppy. Like, come on. Obviously missing the ball, bashing the ball here as well, because we're bashing Speedily is fine. But Speedily shouldn't even be here to be bashed. Sigma should be Harmony Orb or packed and chasing Speedily around the map. He should be going, nah, you're not getting anything done. I'm keeping you at a distance, and then we can fully peel the ball D.Va engage, because that's the only engage that actually matters. And again, the full HP here, just terrible execution for Odyssey.
For Sigma, in goes Reiner for the nice dive.
Terrible
so
from Odyssey.
Attack to protect Luke Mino. That's kind of the main reason you have a Brigitte in this composition, because not a lot of people are going to be accessible to you, and you just got to have that shield bash ready for if
very deserved
Speedily
win
comes
there.
knocking by, or if he pulses,
and the problem now is that
like
it's even harder to retake with this
the
comp.
shield down can maybe save Luke Mino, but
it's even harder.
It's gonna be maybe a more boring game for Rack Attack.
I don't know, I think Rack Attack enjoys this particular hero. He's quite well known for it, but I think that Rack Attack's
so fast pincer here.
Our off-season of expanding his hero pool a little bit.
Odyssey has to really take their time, and with Harmony and Discord, like clear out these flankers one by one, clear out these threats, so they don't get dove again. False gets hacked.
And
that's a great way to create a lot of space, because obviously False has to back off when he's hacked, and that creates space for you.
Should have been assuaged for me in seeing Odyssey's earlier games.
Unfortunate. False needs to not get hacked there. Do you see what's happening here? Like with Sigma and like with Harmony and with Hack? Do you see how many reds are on your screen right now? Like none. Like basically none. They're all over this way. That's what you want. That's this. You did that from here, and you did that from jump pad. You didn't do it here. This space doesn't matter. It's the jump pad and this flank right here.
Well, he does miss a good bit of HP, so King is farming up toward the EMP, 20% away. This will be a winning condition for
Odyssey.
Now
they need to keep the pressure on. They need to keep the pressure on. Rhino, Sigma, and King need to keep the pressure on. Keep the HP down.
But so
like, do you see how these guys are actually taking pressure now? Like, this is good. This is how you survive a dive.
In the hands of American Tornado, they use the Amp Matrix
Fake
at the
EMP.
back. King is ready with EMP. But so far,
But
in the
where
hands
is
of American
Luke
Tornado,
positioned?
they use the Ant Matrix at the back. King is ready.
Yeah, so Luke is positioned too aggressive.
But so far, in the hands of American Tornado,
So
they
you
use
can
the
see
Ant
it
Matrix
right here. Luke should not be on the stairs. Luke should be peeking back this way. And if anything, Luke should be swinging this way or swinging co-side. He should not be running down main. Never, ever, ever, ever run it down main. If you're going to aggress as a Zen, you always aggress on a flank, right? Because you're gonna more, you're likely to, you won't get pincered, right? Because if Luke comes here, everything will kind of come out from this way, right? If Luke comes here, everything will come out from this way. If he comes down here, then this happens here. Even though they've given up some map control, they haven't given up everything. Bottom left of my screen. What? Am I being baited? What are you talking about? Did you feel that having OG and Lucio to try and get Wub to the high ground first is worth it over having OG and Brig? I mean, again, like you can't AFK versus this comp, so Brig just isn't gonna work. You have to like actually brawl with your BAP and your in your Kree, so you need a Lucio. What are you guys, Bidget? What are you on about? I swear that guy's like drinking glue or something.
The back King is ready with EMP. He calms.
So yeah, this is no good. So like what I would have liked to have done is like honestly like put Zen Brig over here, like push them here and then push Zen Brig over here and open up your spam angle, because you can't even see the tank line from where they were anyway. You kind of see what I'm saying, chat? Like they had no sight line here. This sight line is dog from Rack Attack.
He does miss.
They needed it, like, and then help Sigma keep pushing or rotate this way.
Good bit of HP, so King is farming up towards that EMP 20%.
Like right here, imagine if Zenbrig were behind Sigma and then just more and more and more and more. Make him S-key out. Either they have to like full commit and they're getting like front loaded damage or not.
From Odyssey, American Tornado.
Wait, what?
Back King is ready with EMP.
It's an expensive engage, chat. It's an expensive engage. So even though the backline kind of fed
to the team, are you guys ready to follow up with this? And you see that
it's an expensive engage. You see that, chat?
the backline from Odyssey
the
is
space still matters.
Oh,
Yes.
remove a great stick from Sigma. Gets rid of
Nice,
Ultraviolet.
Vulcan.
Vulcan eats up the speedily pulse bomb. You're seeing
And Luke
Odyssey
goes
working
Lucio.
so well off of these engages, and
When
we're
your
gonna have to wait for
discipline
this
on a
EMP.
hero isn't good
American
enough,
Tornado
you
still
can
has
just
the
go
point,
Lucio.
Don't know if that minefield was
Luke is a great Zen,
necessary
but their
for
backline
Rhino
was
here,
not
and
playing well.
Spilo will still get onto a point and survive
Either
for
time.
a while. You can actually contest here for 8.
And again, it might not be just the backline, but like Odyssey could absolutely play Briggs in at this. Absolutely. It would be hard, but you could absolutely do it. They're just not executing. They're not executing it well enough.
Ages and ages and ages if you have for respawns, and that's exactly why you see American Tornado committing one person after the other to trying to stay on this point, because it's so difficult to take it away because of that central pavilion. Trying to stay on this point because it's so difficult to take it away because of that central pavilion offering a huge amount of cover. Eventually,
So with a Lucio, it's essentially the same thing. They just pincer from Ingles, but now it's like you don't have Harmony Discord, so you kind of have to be a little bit faster because you will get poked out on Ingles eventually. That being said, your dive does have a little more teeth now because your Brig, your team can kind of go in aggressively with a 6th dive hero, kind of like what we talked about with the Mercy
rip
Lucio.
them from the point with particular force, and now their next engagement is going to be very, very, very well endowed because of the EMP, because of the self-destruct. These could tear
Are we just like, is leg day, like what is leg day doing?
a team apart if OG is caught.
King is looking for OG. Sees Ultraviolet, knows he has to be nearby. King is looking.
Rack Attack. Come on, dude. They're not in your space, senor. You don't need to, like, you're fine. You're in no rush whatsoever. They can't just W key on you and win. You're on high ground. You're fine. You don't even have a Zen anymore. There's no EMP. Come on, Rack Attack. Wait!
Looking for OG. Sees Ultraviolet, knows he has to be nearby. He
So
was
bad.
discovered by maybe a D.Va or some kind of shot revealed him, but he's still living in the back of American Tornado, and they know he's there too, so King has to choose this EMP carefully, and you also don't want to be overly patient with it too, because he could.
Again, just
King
like
has to choose this EMP
way
carefully,
too much being
and You also
done.
don't want to be overly patient.
way too much being done outside of your space. You see this? This is, you don't care about this thing, man. Like obviously if your team is like hard engaged in a fight, sure, but there's just a lot of stuff happening on the perimeter outside of point when it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't, we don't care what these guys are doing. We don't care. We do not need to get kills here. We don't need to get pressure here. It just doesn't matter. So we've seen, you know, these guys, come on. Play around your kill box.
Because he could have had time to build up another EMP and have more opportunities to do.
And I really feel like the rally opening was not great there. Like, be more patient, let them come onto point, then just EMP, and then they're gonna beat. If you don't kill anything with the EMP, it doesn't matter. You've traded EMP for beat, and they've done nothing with it, right? You don't even have to go aggressively off of the EMP. You just like EMP, pressure, they beat, they try and press W, and then you just hold your space, and then you rally, and then while you're rallying, you're building up another EMP, right? So like, I don't know. I don't think this is particularly well played by Odyssey, and at either point, they've kind of too many ultimates and a free kill as well.
Had time to build up another EMP and have more opportunities to do something, but picking off Sigma is gonna hurt Odyssey. Ooh. Still have the EMP, but without Sigma, they might want to wait on it, and they are building time. They go for the EMP anyway. OG is
speedily gets EMP,
but without Sigma, they might want to wait on it, and they are building time. They go for the EMP anyway. OG is with the Sound Bearer, and American Tornado are fine for now.
And then Shape also overextends a bit. Oh, Shape doesn't get beat. Or he does, but he's just in the middle of the enemy team.
Off Sigma is gonna hurt Odyssey. Still have the EMP, but without Sigma, they might want to wait on.
I mean, this is what I'm talking about, though. Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is a perfect example of the point we were trying to make about how to EMP. This EMP unintentionally, I assume, was late and in a devolved fight where American Tornado were pressing W. So obviously the follow-up is very easy because American Tornado is inside of Odyssey. They're just like everywhere. So it's very easy to burn through beat and to kill people before beat even goes off. This is why you don't rush things. Wait them walk into your kill box and then counter, like, punish them, right? And if you're going to aggressively go in, like we wanted to in this rally, then we need to be set up to do that, right? You need to be set up to press W here. Look at
Ultraviolet knows he has.
Look at the setup. Where's my pincer back here? Where's my pincer? There is no pincer, right? So you can't do it. Beat is the worst supportal. Maybe, yeah. It's probably, yeah.
Anyway, OG is with the Sound Bearer.
So, like, this is what I'm talking about. Don't rush it. If they play weird around your EMP, then you just AFK and win the fight because it's a 5v6.
And American Tornado are fine
so
for now.
Great EMP, but would have been.
Beat's fine. Got a lot of danger headed towards him, and False needs to disengage.
I forget that Sigma's still dead. Or was dead.
At this point, and it's just going to try and play it a little bit further back. They know that Odyssey are now going to strike. They're more lacking on tools to try and repel the next attack.
Like, I just honestly, like,
this is a trash can.
Impulsive empathy. Thanks to the host. There, the raid. I was like, what is that noise? Oh, it's me. It was so confusing. Thanks to the raid. We're just going over the Mayhem Classic, the Odyssey versus American Tornado matchup. Appreciate the raid. Hey, Jojo. Okay, so like, this is where I honestly just like, chat, I honestly have such a hard time here. Like, I just honestly think American Tornado's comp is dog. Jojo said to raid me. Well, he's got terrible taste. Like, I explain why this comp is like being picked, but it inevitably means these guys are constantly herded up like scared sheep, and Wub just isn't able to split and do anything as Kree, so he's just a wash. Like, Wub is just doing nothing, Ultraviolet's doing nothing, like these just here, there's just, this map is way too good for dive, and I just don't like it. Like, I just don't like it. Like, we need Hydran in. We need Hydran. Free Hydran, chat. Free Hydran. I don't know what's going on, but free Hydran, because these guys cannot play this comp and expect to win.
It's better
like,
to
it's just
live
not going to work.
And fight another day.
So EMP was used, but you didn't get.
Leg day.
Maybe it's better to live and fight another day.
He's so dramatic.
EMP was used, but he didn't get OG, and he was looking so hard for him, and now OG's actually on the Brigida.
Like, I honestly don't know how you retake here. And now he's on the Brig, but the problem with the Brig is that, yes, you can stand AFK and it will work. Like, you'll have more, like, Wub can go a little bit more aggressively in flanks, but he can't go that aggressively because he's still gonna get dove. Like, I just don't know.
Another layer.
I don't know. And we're still on BAP as well, who's just kind of, I don't know.
CC to stop Sigma in their tracks, because I don't think there's just a...
Like, these guys can literally just AFK, and like, if this is a Zen Brig, like, even, honestly, chat, I probably would go Zen Brig here. I think this is the way to go. I think you go Zen, Brig, McCree against this comp. And in the Zen mirror as well. Because yeah, it's like Kree versus Sombra, you're gonna lose on map control. Like you're not gonna get like flank control as much, but if you get a sightline, he'll do more than a Sombra. I think that was American Tornado's mistake. I think it was American Tornado's mistake. If you're not gonna play Hydran, play with Zenbrig. No Lucio crap. Cheers, mate.
Enough punish.
Thanks again for the raid.
To Sigma, and Spilo could try his best in the 1v.
Like what is this guy doing right now? Like honestly, like what is your BAP doing right now? Is he contributing, controlling flanks? No. Is he shooting people? No. Is he breaking shield? No. Is he AoE healing your tanks? No.
One, but if
like obviously he has a window now, and like
Sigma goes and hides away in your backline, it's gonna be hard. To Sigma, and Spilo could try his best in the 1v1, but if Sigma goes and hides away in your backline, it's gonna be hard for Spilo.
More flank pressure. Easy death at the flanks. Because like, look at how easy this dive is to stage. Look at how easy this dive is to stage. 1, 2, 3. Look at that. Flank control, easy dive. Easy peasy. Like what spam damage are we getting out of Wub right now?
Spilo, you do anything about it?
Easy.
Some mines drop from Reiner and a Rhino. You have Sigma pulse bomb hit some of these
nice
supports.
Window.
Ultraviolet's the only healer left.
Nice
window.
It's over. It's over, chat. Like I don't even care. I don't even care. Odyssey hard comp diffs him on control center or city center. Excuse me. Big takeaways here. On first was that like I felt American Tornado looked kind of awkward with their rush variants. Like they were kept forcing these like goofy rush and rush hybrids, which were looking like trash. Obviously Odyssey got put onto a Zenyatta pharmacy, which I think is also pretty trash. But they like managed to win first fight and then build up an ult thing so that they could like let that comp work for longer. And then they went like brawl dive hybrid. And again, because they were playing just a better, cleaner dive. Like Break Lucio that's freaking weird, dude. But it was at least something divey. At least played to the compositional strengths and at least had some logic behind it. American Tornado was like scuffed brawl, right? We talked about what the logic behind it is, but it still doesn't make it any easier to play. And then as soon as you remove the Zenyatta, which is the only thing they can rush onto realistically, then it all of a sudden just got trash, and then it just got ult cycled. The only thing I'd say with Odyssey is they tend to rush things. They tend to force things too early. I know that they play a very high tempo, but if you're going to play a very high tempo, you need to set up for a high tempo. In other words, you need to be positioned aggressively to be able to pincer them. Instead, they were like, here, and they're like, rally, or slow down and come back, we want to rally you. And that's just not going to work. Okay, brawl execution. Honestly, chat, my expectations are kind of low. I don't think so, because like both of these teams don't have particularly well-known brawl guys. Like that's not true. They have some decent, like, but like Reiner's not really like an amazing Reinhardt. These guys are good. Actually, they might be okay. Like these guys all have experience or are good at these heroes in this meta. Wub maybe not so much, but I know his aim is really, really good, so I'm sure he'll be okay on McCree. Hydrate, thank you. Odyssey, less so. They're definitely not as good at Brawl. They do have like Dove in as well, which is worth noting. Dove is a good Kree in my opinion. I think Vulcan's also pretty solid at D.Va. Luke is obviously a great BAP. But like Rack Attack is like less known for his Lucio. Rhino's less known for his Ryan. King, I don't know how good his Mei is. This team in general is like, even though the roster has changed some, this team is less known for, it's more better known for their double shield and like goofy dive stuff than they are for their brawl. So I don't, especially a team without a coach, because I think, well, I don't know, we'll see. I think a lot of teams are playing brawl wrong. Let's put it that way. I think a lot of teams in the Western region, EU and NA, just play brawl really poorly. In other words, I think they stack too much. I think their old eco is bad. I don't think they take splits or angles enough. McCree's role is just to flank permanently, like perma-flank. Like how much you flank depends on what you're doing, and if you're going for like a flash header play, obviously, but like perma-flank, perma-angle. Can be like super cheesy or not, depends on how like greedy you are. It's literally just perma-flank, because the only thing you have to worry about is the enemy McCree and the D.Va. That's it. You can't split too far, too close, because D.Va will chase you down and smack you in the face, but perma-flank. If McCree's role was not to perma-flank, then you would not play D.Va, you'd play Zarya. It's because of McCree perma-flanking, that's a decent chunk of why teams play. It's not the only reason, but it's a decent chunk of why teams play D.Va and not Zarya. I don't have high expectations for macro execution here,
angry
but we will
for
see.
3 years.
I hope I'm wrong.
Is just angry.
This is good. This is good. This is how you break a choke. Nice job.
Angry Titans in my head. It's actually American Tornado. I'm just a dummy. Reiner already.
Nice. I like it. I don't know why Rhino's won. How is Rhino won?
I'm just a dummy. Rhino already just going to be swinging.
What happens to Rhino's HP, chat?
I'm just a dummy.
Rhino gets chunked. He gets headshot and icicled like simultaneously.
Already Angry Titans in my head. It's actually American Tornado. I'm just a dummy.
So I'm not sure like what's screwed up here. I think the first thing first is that like this May wall is definitely a little late. And Rhino needs to play a little less aggressive, but
already just going to be swinging into the midst here, and
also the lamp doesn't work out either. I mean, because the thing is you look at this here and you're like, okay, Rhino gets chunked. That's unfortunate.
American
but
Tornado.
If this engage is timed a little better and then he gets lamped, he's fine.
Into the midst here, and oh my god, Rhino's already dead.
Yeah, that's such a quick reaction. As soon as that May wall came up from...
Rhino's already dead.
Yeah, that's such a...
Because D.Va is on a good flank. Like, he is baiting attention here, but there's too much... Like, if you let them just W key in because...
Quick swinging like also... into the midst here. Actually, American Tornado. I'm just a dummy. Rhino already just going to be swinging into the midst here, and oh my god. Rhino.
Yeah, so that's just like... It's scuffed up from Odyssey core. The matrix management isn't... Like, we don't get good matrix when it counts. The wall is bad. There's no lamp. Rack Attack doesn't get a good boop, and King isn't able to get any meaningful freeze because of that. So like core just gets run over. If your core fundamentals aren't good, your flank isn't going to matter as much. So honestly, this is like good macro execution, bad micro execution.
It was already dead.
Yeah, that's...
Because absolutely, if you are just W key in chat as 6 and you're really clean at it, it will work. It's just not as good as the other. It's harder to play angles, which is why you see a lot of teams just W key in. But
such a quick reaction as soon as that May wall came up from Speedily, got Rhino in between it. Such a quick reaction as soon as that May wall came up from Speedily, got Rhino in between it, sandwiched Rhino between a wall and Reiner. And Reiner, all he had to do was swing, and Rhino didn't even know what happened, and he was dead. So
what's the Reiner deal? Like, why did he rename?
Like, I don't get it. For Reiner too. Rhino
such a goofy name
has to be careful about this.
That's a great name for two Reinhards.
Oh no. Oh no. And see, this is the concern. It didn't work once because you guys all micro screwed it up, and we go, well, splitting with Kree is just dog. We're gonna have to stack together as 6, just run it down mid. That's what we do. Here we go. I can smell it a mile away.
Checking the corner, I love to see it, but he did invest a roll. Yeah, that's gonna make his disengagement potential a little bit less, and his DPS out.
Like, do you see like how little Dove is getting done right now?
As well, but they have isolated Reiner right here. But he to be able to and his DPS output slightly lower.
Meanwhile, Wub splits off.
So they have isolated Reiner right here. But
easy kill.
To be able to punish it, but Wub gets.
And now Wub is free.
Just a little bit of tunnel vision from Dove. You know, they had that isolation while you pointed out from King. Got Reiner, but you did notice Wub at an off angle with a flashbang, and that was scary. To remove Dove just means a huge damage advantage. Or to remove Dove means a huge damage advantage for Wub.
They can't do that. Like, you just have to split. You don't have to split hard, but to break this choke, you have to split. You have to do some sort of goofy split, bait attention, get a pick, go aggressive. You can go aggressive, run in with 5 while you split off with Dove here, or you can go out this door instead. But you can't just stack and give up and stack unless you're gonna run and go for a flash fan play. But that better happen fast. If it doesn't happen fast, you're done.
American Tornado
Fashion flank?
After that.
I mean, you could. A lot of teams do.
Nasty stagger there as well onto Lucamino. We've got a tale of 2 of these amplifications.
How's the EU Contenders going, Connor?
On top of this sign, that would be.
Who's playing? What's the deal?
At that point, I would lodge a complaint with my congressional representatives.
At least they put it on the low ground.
Again, stacking. That's going to work predictably.
Rhino got to aggro. He got
frozen up by
Speedily, and there was just nothing
they
can use it. Rhino got to aggro. He got frozen up by Speedily.
Wait. Where was Vulcan? Where's Vulcan? Vulcan with team.
At least they put it on the low ground, so once they jump down, they can use it. But
okay, that was good.
Aggro, he got frozen up by Speedily, and there was just nothing that could save him. No immortality.
What happened?
Nothing.
What happened next OSMC game?
See, American Tornado having to reset.
It's weird that American Tornado is holding their ground.
Odyssey have to reset for the 3rd time.
Like, they're just going again. Why are they going to 6, please? Why?
Reiner isn't there though. This is a huge advantage for Odyssey. There's no permanent barrier. That's too early, maybe there from Dove. Isn't able to get the kill, but they will manage to follow up on the King here. Somehow American Tornado in a 5 versus 4 are coming out on top, and they're investing ultimates to do it. They know they have the chance. Tornado in a 5 versus 4 are coming out on top.
Ultraviolet gets split. He gets too far split. He gets too far isolated.
5 versus 4 are coming out on top of their investing ultimates to do it. They know
Ultraviolet somehow ends up in the middle of the enemy team. What?
4 are coming out on top of that they will manage.
Where is Ultraviolet, man?
Here. Somehow American Tornado in a 5 versus 4.
Oh, the D.Va bomb forces him to do funny things.
Coming out on top of their investing ultimates
Unlucky.
to do it. They know they have a chance to win, but they've lost Ultraviolet. It's going to be so difficult, so he put
Good
down
shatter.
the hammer.
Take what you get.
People on the ground. There's a forced reset to come through from a mech, but Rhino's returned, and he's doing work right now.
Run!
Almost every single
no, unlucky.
ultimate from Odyssey.
Okay, so they break the choke after like 3-4 fights. Yab won Raspberry. Big surprise. They're playing the Pokecom, so Windows went in while BH was backline were AFK. That sucks, Connor. Okay, we'll check it out later. Basically this is just Odyssey is like they're just stacking and running out, stacking and running out, stacking and running out, stacking and running out. It's not going to work. They did it once on first. They got run down on because Dove was split, and then they got panicky, and then they started stacking, and then that just went predictably for the next 2 minutes. Take on the new EU Contenders rule. What's the new EU Contenders rule?
See, but that pick onto Ultraviolet that I think Rhino got was enough
What new
to ward
Contenders
away
rule?
American Tornado and let Odyssey actually play the game. So now we get to see the rest of the map. Thank you.
Thank you for letting us see the rest of the map. There's
Okay,
only a
Dove
minute
is
and 30
split.
seconds to do
I
it,
repeat,
Lemon, and
Dove is
lost it.
split. Hey, Josh.
The end of Havana A here could lead to the full hold.
Okay.
Rhino is isolated
Now,
away from multiple
let me
members
be very clear.
of their team, but
This group needs to go this way and probably split your Kree off somewhere over here or over here. ASAP. Ben Bessie the Kree. Classy. First to 2. Every single time I think the tier 2 group like actually figured it out, like the tournament setup and not single elimination, having an actual losers bracket, the seeding, it was like really good, and then they pull that one. First to 2, brain dead. Brain dead. And I guarantee you, they're going to pull out like, well, we wanted to make sure that you guys could all get streamed, and we can't stream all of them if they're only first to 2. Let me be very clear. I guarantee you that the players would rather a more awkward streaming schedule or occasionally not have a game get streamed and have first to 3. I guarantee you. Nobody wants to play first to 2. I would rather miss my game being streamed every like 3 or 4 games, or not all the games get streamed, and then have first to 2. That is complete load of bull. I don't understand. Like, it's just garbage. Garbage.
right now they're just looking to try.
Okay, so they gotta rotate away.
Rotate.
Rotate. This is lazy. This is lazy. They need to go. Keep Vulcan or Rhino on cart and then set up your splits this way. Again, stack
To
city.
give Wolf a safe area from which to.
I mean, yeah, like look at Wub. Like Wub is in a really scary position here. Overall, American Tornado seems to be doing a much better job of splitting Wub. I'm not sure if that's an accident or not, or if that's just Wub's playstyle, but like this looks much better. The only thing I would say here is I think False is playing here because he's eating window. Okay, that's fine. I was gonna say like False starting here initially would be good to like help hold the ground for Wub.
No, that's scary. Ant Matrix, and there's a wall right behind
We are seeing a little split here, but like what is Dove doing, man? Like
Odyssey. Okay,
that's just weird.
let's see what they can do. It's a blizzard.
Bridge this high ground to
They
give
get
Wolf
a
a
fat
safe
blizzard,
area from
though.
which to operate.
No, that's scary. Ant Matrix, and there's a wall right behind Odyssey. Okay, let's. No, that's scary. Ant Matrix, and there's a wall right behind Odyssey. Okay, let's.
Wub gets
No,
impatient.
that's scary. Ant Matrix, and there's a wall right behind Odyssey. Okay.
Yeah, Wub gets impatient. Wub gets impatient, and like this is kind of what I expected from Brawl execution.
Let's. No, that's scary. Ant Matrix,
I'm not impressed
and there's
with-
a wall right behind Odyssey. Okay, let's.
I'm not impressed with either team's play.
See what they
Like, there's just no
can do.
way that a Blizzard should get
It's a blizzard
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. Like,
to protect.
there's way too much stacking going on. There's way too much stacking. These windows and these Blizzards are getting way too much done.
Give Wolf a safe area from which to operate.
No, that's scary. Ant Matrix,
And like Shape, for example. Shape, for example, window, Shape
High ground to give
needs
Wolf
to
a
drop,
safe area from
shield,
which to operate.
and right now, instantly pulled a corner. Instantly pulled a corner, play very resource dry, and just let False play wherever he wants. This is bad Rhine play. This is mediocre macro execution because Wub has to go in, or Wub goes in.
Scary Ant Matrix.
Yeah,
and
this is
there's
just
a wall
not
right
good.
behind Odyssey. Okay.
Because I'm like, come on, like what? How are these? How is
Yeah,
a
let's see
Blizzard
what they
getting
can
that
do.
many people?
So Blizzard to protect their tanks. False is trying to be aggro at an off angle. He gets punished, and Reiner gets batted.
Yeah, so like good on Odyssey for not stacking.
There's
Like
a
they do split a
wall
little
right
bit. Like I think Vulcan in particular. This is really good from Vulcan right here.
Behind
Deny Wub,
Odyssey.
boop him in.
Okay, let's see what they can do.
That was good, but not and obviously a big fat ult from King, but pretty bad for American. This is about what I expected. Very sloppy from both teams.
So Blizzard to protect their tanks. False is trying to be aggro at an off angle. He gets punished, and
Yeah,
Reiner
both of them
gets
gave up position to
batted
pursue a
in the
kill, pretty
face.
much.
So Odyssey will get to move
Which
on up.
isn't good if you're playing the composition correctly. Because the problem with this is Wub rolling in like this only works if you're going in aggressive with the rest of your team, right? So if Wub wants to give up position and pursue a kill, there needs to be an equally timed pincer
Scary
from his team.
Matrix,
But the
and there's
problem
a
is
wall
when
right-
he goes. He goes in when his team is being windowed. Shape is not in a position to aggress, so he should not be aggressing.
Behind Odyssey. Okay, let's see what
Your
they
tempo
can do.
has to match.
So Blizzard to protect their tanks. False is trying to be aggro at an off angle.
Yes,
he
Tricky's
gets
are.
punished, and
Thank you for the
Reiner gets
hydrate.
batted in the face. So Odyssey will get to move on up and probably cap A from this. I don't think it's too close for it to be a recontest.
Small hero play from Vulcan as well. They identified Wub rolling onto this bus shelter, I think it is. This could be a blue advertisements thing. The main DPS threat of American Tornado positioning the game. And now Odyssey may be able to get a little bit more done here, but there is a lot of positioning
Oh, geez, my eyes, why is it doing
that
that?
American Tornado have. And that's going to have to be
Uh-oh,
dealt with.
one flank,
That's going
one flank,
to
one
limit
flank,
the
one flank, one
options
flank,
of
one
this
flank.
Deadeye.
Let's see if Wub, and maybe they could even wait until the shield from Brino gets a little bit lower. They can have extra
Just chill.
insurance to even guarantee more of a
guard.
kill. But
Push
looks like the
guard.
Deadeye from Dove is used so shortly, not finding anyone, just zoning tools. American Tornado jump down. Wub channeling that.
What?
More of a kill.
So they force a lamp. This is
Of this
a little
Deadeye.
odd to me.
Let's see if Wub, and maybe they
It's unfortunately timed.
could even-
I don't think this is a great high noon, to be honest. I think this is a good window because it stops them from pressing W. But I don't think Odyssey should be pressing W right now. I think they need to be pushing cart a little bit further so that you can have rack attack that's closer up. Like I don't think you need to be pressing W right now. So I think Odyssey's going too early. This is a 4v6 or
Gonna
at
wait
best a
until the
5v6.
shield
So that does cost them their
from
lamp.
Brino gets a
This
little
is a
bit
good
lower. They
window.
can have extra insurance to even guarantee more of a kill.
And then obviously American Tornado does a wub and gives up positioning to pursue kills. So
But
they just go
looks
in.
like the Deadeye
Now,
from Dove is used
will that work because they're all on the same page? I don't know.
so
Let's see.
shortly, not finding anyone, just zoning.
Because on paper, this should be bad, right? You're running through to force a kill. They do have a little bit of a split here, so that's something. They're not all rushing into 6, but
Tools, American Tornado.
it could work.
Jump down.
like King gets caught in the counter pin. That's unfortunate.
Up, channeling
And then Rhino gets counterpinned and then
that Deadeye,
dies.
and as the Ryans crash into each other, it finishes off Rhino, and the pins just fall down
Wow, that's
one
unlucky.
by one after that.
Okay.
Vulcan here long. I think we're missing over the choke point
Okay.
right now, but maybe they're going to prioritize getting up on high ground. While they are up on
Reiner
high
needs to
ground,
get off
Rhino
the
has
cart.
to worry about how
Reiner needs to get off a cart. Shape needs to get off the
little
floor.
potential collateral
There's no reason to stop cart here. Your high ground is more effective the further cart goes up. It was bad how AT was pushing Odyssey out of the high noon. Yeah, it was a little odd.
damage there Earth Shatter can do. It won't get a
Because it's so easy for them to 6v1 Shape. His shield's going to break here. Shape's going to have to back off, and that's bad because they need to stop the cart here. And Shape backing off means they won't be able to stop the cart.
Baptiste, who's currently up on this brewery. It won't get them.
Oh, here it comes again. Another aggression. Another aggression. Now, they do get a kill,
Baptiste, who's currently
but
up on this brewery.
I don't like
It
this.
won't
I
get
don't
them
like this
free.
because, again, do you see this? Now, I don't know how Dove splits there. Dove probably split a little too greedily and got punished for it. But this is actually not great for... Yeah, this is not great. Odyssey could win this.
And American Tornado, they just engage first, but a great from Vulcan to get rid of
There's
that
no
speedily
pincer.
Blizzard. And as
There's
maybe
no
American
pincer,
Tornado
so
will
the
open
follow-up
up
is really easy to kite because Odyssey can just back out. Back out. And American Tornado has to keep pursuing. And it's ultimately a pretty cheap fight win. Like, like obviously Shatter was used Did they use Blizzard as well? Yeah, Shatter and Blizzard.
Again, American Tornado, they just engage
And just beat in window and you retake that space?
to get rid of that speedily.
Probably shape.
When you're frontline,
I mean, I don't know. Probably the whole team. Like I talked with American Tornado, and they said a lot of them just like call plays and stuff. So
A man after my own of nowhere.
but like the aggression is just very like one directional with a lot of these teams. Very. Do you see how like I hope Brawl is still somewhat meta in Overwatch League, because I anticipate by the time like Overwatch League teams are probably doing a much better job of pinstering with their aggression, even in Brawl, or playing it more passively and playing more around like setting up a resource trade from angles. Because I think that would be a lot more fun to see this executed well.
A flash fan there flag support. it's a trade.
Because these are both great teams, but they're missing. A lot of it is just they're winning off of synergy, and they're winning off of decisiveness, and they're winning off of mechanics. They're not winning off of very good macro. Basically, Faffer, yeah, exactly.
We're going to be able to re-engage here, but Vulcan will be able
I'm not sure what Vulcan's doing.
to catch them early. OG is going to
Probably
be able to
just
scout that
scouting.
one out, so we're going to head through the bottom instead.
Yeah, he
this
must
could
be
make them
scouting.
quite
Wall.
easy to lock down, especially with a singular wall, but that will be broken through in no time at all.
So that's good. They get out, they get high ground.
See,
Dove
it's
gets
gonna
split.
be Taylor.
That's a great bomb. Usually you don't bomb engage because of the risk of counter ultimates, but you see how Odyssey is super safe. There's no way. This bomb is like YOLO. Odyssey doesn't need to push off this bomb. This will force lamp, shield, and might even get a kill. This is a great bomb.
At least one shatter. Rhino has.
Brilliant. Like, look at that. Look at that. Completely zoned the entire window, and they knew that they didn't need to worry about it because they're like look at the position. You're like, who's the window gonna get? So who should be splitting for the pincer? D.Va and McCree? Yeah, you can have like a Cree and an angle. You can have a D.Va split pincer backline. Yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do. Cart pressure too, yeah.
As it self-destruct as a distraction. Some of them speedily didn't have ice block, didn't have immortality. That's
So
see, it's gonna be.
let's see who leverages
Taylor,
their positioning
at least
better.
One shatter. Rhino has it self-destruct.
That's a good angle from Falls.
Some of them.
But ultimately, like this high, like look at Rhino, guys. Like I want you to just echo. This is pro Reinhardt play. Look what Rhino does. Look what Rhino does.
See, it's gonna
This entire look at him. Look at him.
At least one shatter.
Shielding Dove.
Rhino
Shielding Dove. Shielding Dove. Still shielding Dove. Shielding Dove. Shielding Dove. Now he pushes. Do you see that? Dove holds high ground. GG's. Dove is protected. GG's. That was really good. Yeah, that was really good. That was very well done. The only thing here is I would like to see more support from Dove early on. And like Dove peak is a little wide. I mean, just being nitpicky, but just a little wide.
See, it's gonna be tail of at least one shatter. Rhino has it self-destruct.
Where is Ne? I assume that's a typo.
Speedily didn't have ice block, didn't have immortality. That's maybe a flood for American Tornado. But let's see if they can play without him. Self-destruct. Maybe saves Brian or picks off.
Wait, where is he? Dove is just up here. Whoops. Dove was legit just sitting up here, and Rhino was just AFK holding shield. They had cart pressure here, and then like Dove is just popping off on the angle because he's getting shielded, and these guys are like running like flies.
Without him, self-destruct.
Rhino was on high ground.
So
nice job. Absolutely right. So many defensive measures that Amay could use, and unfortunately none of them were available.
Yeah.
Not even the speed boost.
I mean, it's AFK shielding on the high ground, on the angle, right?
And for the
if Dove maintains that positioning, it's GG's.
Or at least in the first time you and I have been casting. We are going to see the third point of Havana. And Rhino, with this many targets available, if we can get some shield damage here, is going to be looking for a very big earth shot.
So this is where you have, I think this is too early still, but generally the one time that McCree plays with his team is for high noon plays, is because you're not really using it to get kills, you're just using it to force matrix and break shield, maybe force a lamp, maybe you get lucky and get a pick, but you force the enemy team to back off, like lots of little things that you force. And if you do it on a flank, because you're stationary, it's too easy to poke you out. You can do it with like Matrix and Lamp and stuff, but that's kind of a heavy investment. So Dove doing this here is fine. I just think it's too early. Because like I want it to be 3, 2, 1. Now, like just right, if they had done it like right as they engage, maybe they're scared of Blizzard. Because obviously you have to be scared of Blizzard, but yeah. Just a little early.
Some shield damage here is going to be looking for a very big earth shatter, but gets nothing.
Oh, it actually works.
You
What?
were hoping for big, we only got small.
Just chill. Just chill.
No.
Just chill. Just chill. Just chill. Just chill.
Rhino with the re-engage.
Good fast layup from Luke.
Kind of stunned up a few people from American Tornado, and it's such a long road.
Just chill. You see that? Nothing. If nothing happens when you're down one, you will just, as long as you're just continually pressuring, you will win. No need to panic. Just chill.
There's no getting out.
Good.
American Tornado.
Very well done.
Lesson.
In favor of Odyssey right now, and again, Speedily is uncharacteristically picked early poke. Speedily might be on tilt right now.
I'd be a little bit too, not gonna lie, but
okay. Once again,
tilt right now. This is
the player-led team special.
I'd be a little bit too, not gonna lie, but
Honestly, man, look at what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why are you rushing into the enemy team space? I just don't understand. Like, this just isn't the play. Like, maybe with like a high noon, or like, I don't even know what you could, but like, this just isn't necessary. Like, you have window, you have beat, you're close to high noon, you'll have bomb, you'll have a couple of other ultimates as well. You're actually operating at an even ult advantage, maybe even a slight ult advantage. So like, there's just no reason to force, like, because the problem isn't the aggression, it's the fact that there is no possible way for this aggression to work. There's just no possible way. Like, who are you that's going to get Matrix? They're going to speed across, and then you're not going to be able to do anything. This is just suicidal, right? So this is the problem, though, because out of every like two or three great aggressive plays we see from either team, like, oh, that was a nice little clutch play, we see something just really brain dead, and that's what we're seeing here.
All the space are taken up playing.
And this is lost. Like, we don't even care.
No investment, Lemon. A 3 is a very, very bad omen for Odyssey. 40 seconds remain.
I think. I don't know. I'm not sure what I think here.
They have to invest very, very heavily to even break through this area, and then they've got to deal with the staggers afterwards.
Little speedy Deadeye forces Odyssey to
nice.
hide in the room.
Well done.
Now, how are they gonna get out? You're looking at some shatters that can catch some people off guard. That's when you can't be making any positional mistakes.
No. Nope.
Is the Ant Matrix.
Oh, and the bomb goes.
Self-destruct.
Oh.
On the other side, instantly headshots Vulcan. That self-destruct goes off the planet, so that's not gonna. Struck right on the other side, instantly headshots Vulcan. That's. Self-destruct goes off the planet.
And it doesn't. The beat doesn't catch King either.
So that's not gonna do anything. Speedily.
Oh, that's bad.
Blizzard, though,
that's got to be it, right? Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. Basically, Vulcan sees, okay, High Noon is down. I'm gonna bomb this window, but he launches it from out in the open, so he gets picked, and the bomb goes off the edge and doesn't do anything. Yikes! That boop from Rack.
Very heavy.
Little speedy, some shatters that can catch some people off guard. That's when you can't be making any positional mistakes. The Ant Matrix self-destruct right on the other side, instantly headshots Vulcan. That self-destruct goes off the planet. So
he boops the Rhine into the pin.
That's not gonna do anything.
Oh no!
Blizzard, though, speaking value, found a
Yikes.
lot.
So yeah, not like, so I think the plans weren't great from either team. A lot of forced aggression. Odyssey, both teams stacked more than I would have liked. It just kind of feels like with these teams, it's a dice roll on whether they're going to be taking a proper engagement or not. Because what we always want is, whether you're playing fast or slow, we want a pincer, and we want a pincer within your space, your kill box. Those are the fundamentals of brawl, right? You can aggressively take space, but you're always taking space simultaneously. And with either team, it kind of feels like a dice roll on whether they're going to do that properly or not. So I'm not sure if it's just like, it feels like they're accidentally doing the right thing and then just also accidentally doing the wrong thing. Like, this isn't even like, oh, they mistimed it or there was a mistake. It feels like they don't understand it. They don't understand the pincer. They don't understand the flanks. And then ultimately, like, forcing aggression in the wrong way. Aggression is good. Aggression can be an entire playstyle built around pressing W, but it has to be in your space with a pincer. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Why bomb versus Blizzard? Not sure. Maybe they didn't track it. Maybe he just saw an opportunity for a bomb and just went for it. It's not like, oh, they have Blizzard, we can never bomb. You can bomb against Blizzard. There just has to be a good situation for it, and I don't think that was it. Okay. Here we go. American Tornado splitting already. Interesting.
Here.
Look at Wub. Do you see him? Right here.
fuel this payload and get it moving, and to do so, Wub's on the flank. Could it be the
Too
flash
deep,
fan?
too deep,
No fan.
too deep. You don't need to go that deep, son. You don't even need to be sneaky with it. Like this can work, but you have to, obviously if Vulcan's on his heyday, which he is, he's gonna scout you and he's gonna kill you. But you don't need to do this. You can play the corner back here and just plunk away at the D.Va, plunk away at the Reinhardt behind his shield, because remember he can't shield off from this angle. Like look at what he sees right.
Garage here.
Wait for it.
Refuel this payload and
right here. Look at this. Look how much damage he could be getting from here. He'd make them back up. He'd either make them back up or look at him. And then if these guys kite back, they also run into him. And there's no way the enemy McCree can like pounce on him in a flash fan. He could just go back inside and like kite and go back out again.
Get it moving.
This is force. It's a fine play. Like it's a set play of where you're going to go in and suicide. You're going to suicide on their BAP just to kill him, and then you guys get cart because obviously better respawns. But I don't think it's necessary to do that. I think if you peek this, you're like, this is this free, just go. Just press +1.
Flash fan. No fan. Sad chance.
Yes, Caprices. But he didn't get it.
I'm not expecting anyone to have eyes behind their head, but how was Wub just being was so free back there? Yeah, I thought he would have gotten a pig for sure. But good punish, good react swings.
Really well done by Vulcan.
Tornado.
Vulcan
Storm has been calmed,
making up for the last bomb there.
Chilling for now.
Super heads up.
Vulcan again. I think Vulcan.
So we're gonna see another split. Please split. Please don't quit. Please don't quit.
North America did actually
split. When and how you split. Okay, they're gonna stack early. Are we gonna split now?
Going on there. Flank. I don't see Wub right now. They're having to check to the right to make sure they know where he is.
Oh, dog, nice head.
Where's Wub?
Way a significant amount when they were going on their flank. I don't see Wub right now. They're having to check to the right to make sure they know where he is.
No, Wub just plays with this team. Doesn't work out so well.
Headshot finished off Ultraviolet, who was away from the shield. Now he's got a 1v1 against another fellow cowboy. Meanwhile, there's some business happening over an alleyway. So
how does Rack Attack die?
Did actually manage to check to the right to make sure they know where he is.
Oh, dog, nice headshot finished off Ultraviolet, who was away from the shield. Now he's got a 1v1 against another.
Oh, he's like on the floor. He just gets Lucio diffed.
Other fellow
so this is where I feel like American Tornado just has a better roster for Brawl.
These fights are very
individually.
Split. I don't like that long range pin from Rhino. That was very easily counterpinned by Reiner. And when you have more HP, you will live longer. Forehead. So dog.
Right now, we're having to check to the
I
right.
will say this. Chad, if you're going to stack a 6, you better go fast, because the slower you play, the more advantage they get from the map control, right? So
make sure Wubs weigh a significant amount when they were going on there.
American Tornado just W keying here.
Right to make sure
if you're going to, if you're gonna stack, this is how you have to do it. You have to go in fast.
Oh, dog, nice headshot.
Okay, we keep going.
For the side of Odyssey, they took a long time to complete Savannah Point A, which is by no means easy. We're likely to see Odyssey rotate through the high ground here. It'll give a great staging area from which Dove and Luke Camino can stay in a safe area. Why are they going through main is the question. Luke Camino can stay in a safe area. Why are they going through main?
They need to go faster than that, though.
Luke Camino can stay in a safe area. Why are they... It'll give a great staging area from which Dove and Luke Camino can stay in a safe area. Why...
Yeah, see, this is they're committing to the rotation. They should have just doubled back to main. If you double back to Mega, if they had had time, obviously it would have been very hard to communicate that. Then you're going thinking 1 ultimate, 2 ultimates, and wall are used. Now we get a free rotation after that, and you guys could just like you guys could have, I don't know, bombed from high ground. You could have beated, like you would have been free to do a lot.
Why are they going through main is the question.
They're starting a bunch of ults at Rhino's shield, and he's happy to take every single.
Honestly though, this is a pretty sick play from American Tornado. The Shatter's, you know, Mimi, like he went for it, just didn't pay off. But you wall off the rotation, and as soon as they commit to it, and then you high noon. Like they wall off almost a little early, just to keep them out in the open, and then they swing wide with high noon. I think this is actually a really good play.
Area from which
I think this is a good play. So like Odyssey could have played around it, but I think the credit is more on American Tornado with a good play creation and less with Odyssey with muffing it up. I think Odyssey was very difficult for them to play around this. So credit to American Tornado.
They're starting a bunch of ults at Rhino's shield, and he's happy.
And
to
I
take
also like the window
one.
as well. Do not give him a chance to clutch this. Cap first. Nice job. Good stuff.
They are going to be losing point B right.
All right, what do we got here? What do we got?
Odyssey dropping the ball a little bit there, in my opinion.
Play high grounds, play high grounds, play high grounds, play high grounds, play. Are they gonna go fast? I think high grounds here are too oppressive to not play high grounds.
B right now, they're claiming the space.
Where's Kree? Where's Kree?
On the clock, a blazing fast time to try and get through B right now.
I don't even know where Kree is. Oh, he's back here. This is just bad. I don't like this. I just don't like this, chat. I'm sorry. I really just don't like this. Like, you have high ground. You have high ground up here. Like, why are you all stacked? Why are you all stacked and sitting on the floor? I mean, this must have been a, hey, we speed in, we look for Blizzard kind of a play, but I don't know. I don't think this is good.
Man, American Tornado
Dove managed to catch Ultraviolet.
They should slow down a little bit because they don't have Baptiste. A lot of healing gone. Lucio can only do so much. Salvaire did help a lot.
But like ultimately, like
allow American Tornado to even disengage. But I think some of their tanks are a little bit too deep. So what?
Like the key thing to point out here is how Ultraviolet dies. Ultraviolet, for whatever reason, goes on a flank and literally walks into Dove, who was
a little bit there in my opinion.
Who's on the floor. He actually just walks into Wub. Wub doesn't even flank. He walks into Wub.
On the clock, a blazing fast time to try and get through B right now.
Yeah, so he just walks into Wub. Or walks into Dove, excuse me. So that was really bizarre. That was a feed from Ultraviolet, a rare mistake from Ultraviolet.
Man, American Tornado.
But like, even despite that monstrous feed, I want you to look at this. The Blizzard freezes nobody.
They don't have Baptiste. A lot of
despite not having a BAP or a Ryan,
Lucio can only do so
Dove
much.
dies to guess what? A flank.
Help a lot.
And that breaks the spawn camp.
Allow American Tornado to even disengage, but I think some of their tanks are a little bit too deep. So what?
So Ultraviolet
teammate. I was like, how
scuffs that one up pretty hard.
But either way,
and even despite that, because Wub is better positioned than Dove, Wub wins.
Right there.
GG's. GG easy. And they didn't even have to use a single ultimate while these beat. But beat for Blizzard and Space, you take that.
Rhino for now will stand
hey,
alone.
we got high ground. We got high ground.
Forces as ever.
Rotate away, rotate away, rotate away. So what they need to do here is rotate away and maybe split off and send somebody up high ground. Come on.
Any
do it, you cowards.
Sees so many fruitful targets on the floor.
Ooh, I do not
right
like
Wub's
positioning.
It's blocked by the wall. Excellent play.
Well, if you have eyes, you could read
the question is who drops.
Engagement. Rhino
who drops
sees
here?
So many fruitful targets
Ryan
on the floor
drops.
right now. This could be a huge slide.
D.Va. May. I don't think May needed to drop. That's important. BAP stays on high ground, Kree stays on high ground, Lucio stays on high ground. So that's good. I don't think May needed to drop though, or King needed to drop. May can stay high ground. And honestly, I don't think Vulcan needed to drop either. Like Vulcan could have positioned here. Like this, you really only need one person to stop cart, and everybody else can take high ground around that.
Oh, excellent play.
Well, if you have eyes, you could read that one from another universe.
But obviously, Rhino drops.
Well, if you have eyes, you could read that one.
And gets bombed. But the big thing here is that Vulcan also gets frozen. And that is unnecessary. Why not just hold high ground? My point exactly. Honestly, Rhino can drop if he wants to stop cart. That's totally fine. If he thinks he can get a big swing, get a lot of value, totally fine. But there's no reason for the rest of his team to also drop and forfeit high ground. Because now we can have people on American Tornado retaking high ground, but more importantly, like this D.Va gets frozen because she drops.
From another universe, so Rhino gets punished from that. Immortality couldn't save him. Salvaire not gonna save them. Odyssey.
Okay, so now we expect American Tornado really needs to start pushing this high ground now. They need to start pushing this high ground.
Not lose any more blood if they were to just back away, wait for Rhino to get back. But they're gonna play off this amp matrix and
they're still standing underneath high ground.
Forehead from it.
Yeah, they're just chilling.
They stabilize a little bit, and once the shield goes down, Brian is gonna attack with this shatter soon.
Yeah, now we take high ground.
Pressure, it's OG the assassin, but they're joined by Rack Attack still.
Half a second. Okay. So American Tornado plays underneath the high ground and tries to avoid the spamming. Also, remember, chat, you either clear high ground or you play in a location where the high ground doesn't matter. And that's what American Tornado tried to do there. They probably could have done a better job retaking high ground after the first couple of picks and just like have Reiner play AFK. Odyssey like drops too many people and that costs him. I think King is out of position there. Vulcan gets frozen and is also out of position. Rhino dying is unfortunate. They didn't eat the mail. Rhino wasn't able to get out with speed boost, and obviously the bomb blows him through beat, so that's kind of sucks. No big deal. But it should have been a 5v6. Okay, we died to bomb and Blizzard, but we still have 5 members of our team alive, and we have a high ground still, and that's still a very winnable fight for Odyssey. But they didn't do that, so that's not
And our beautiful beachscape.
That drop spot is awkward for high ground to follow up on. Yeah, sure. Maybe in that instance, Rhino plays a little more patiently.
I love making Rhino endangered.
Sure. So now we go Orisa, Soldier, Baptism. Okay, this is the Odyssey special where I don't know what to do, so let's just go Orisa spam. Like, we're getting brawl diffed. Let's just go Orisa spam.
You can ride, but you can't
And
hide.
like this comp is like going to be a lot
stretch.
stronger on third because of the really long sightlines that you can abuse with Soldier and Zen and Bap. Now I don't know why you wouldn't go like a Widow here or an Ashe. I think that would be probably better than the Soldier, but totally fine. Like I think Ashe up here with like his Zenyatta orb would do way more than Soldier, but okay, fair enough. The Orisa is fine, like long sightline spam, whatever. The D.Va is probably just to deal with this ult and this ult and this ult. So it's understandable why we're still staying on D.Va, even though this is a pretty unorthodox synergy. This is fine, this is fine, this is fine. This is the only bad pick, I think.
Where Odyssey, just like American Tornado's mistake earlier, have to choose their engages. And they decide,
So just
well,
spam. Do you see this long sight lane? This comp is really good at this. Really good.
we don't have to engage. We're actually going to go back to our
Kite,
shield
kite,
comps that we're
kite,
used
kite.
to, and even with the
There's
Soldier too,
Maywall.
just for that consistent DPS. But channeling this is going to be met by a self-destruct.
That's a decent bomb.
With the Soldier too,
decent bomb.
just for that consistent DPS. Back to our shield comps that we're used to, and even
They
with
lamp
the
as
Soldier
well.
too, just for that
That's pretty
consistent
brutal.
DPS. Well, channeling this, he's going to
Maybe
be met
because
by a
Orisa shield
self-destruct
broke.
right in his face. It's blocked by Reiner. Sound very engaged.
But do you see the problem again? Do you see the problem? Here's the problem, chat. So, yes, they force lamp. Yes, the D.Va has no mech. Free Blizzard. But what's the problem with this Blizzard? What's the problem with this Blizzard? Look at, for American Tornado, rather. Look at where this Blizzard is. And look at where the rest of your, look at Wub. Look at OG. Look at Ultraviolet on cart. Do you see this? Distance, and there's no angle on this at all. Odyssey should very easily survive this.
Hi.
Hi.
Bye.
Be safe. See you
your
soon.
mouth guards over here, and your toolbox was somewhere in the laundry bag.
Okay, that's fine.
Good luck.
All right, love you. Be safe. What about the leggings?
They're in the laundry bag.
Okay, sounds good.
I believe they're called tights.
Tights, whatever.
Be safe, please.
All right, you too. See you soon.
Thank you.
So yeah, like this shouldn't work. This shouldn't work. Especially they're matching Blizzard as well. Odyssey, like this Blizzard is like this is the same thing as the EMP, chat. It's literally the same thing as the EMP. Remember the EMP in City Center, where you waited. American Tornado goes in, and then they just say, okay, boop, EMP. This should be a big Blizzard from King, and even if this Blizzard gets a lot of people from Speedily, they're not going to win the fight.
OG Blizzard thrown at Odyssey, but also countered by King's own
Yeah, dude, look at
engage
that.
from OG Blizzard.
They shatter and Blizzard, and this is after high nooning to force wall and lamp and fortify. And look,
Odyssey, but
and I assume Rhino still at fortify. He just got shattered.
countered by King.
And look, 2 people frozen versus 3 people frozen. And these 3 people are killable. These 2 people are not because of the look at Dove. Look at Dove. Look, who's gonna kill Dove, chat? Who's gonna kill Dove?
Blizzard.
Look at him. He's just
slows
chilling,
down the
literally.
entire rush composition of American.
Fundamentals. Kill box. Exactly, Faffer. Play the corner, clear the corner, then play the shorter sight line and force him to walk into you because they're the spammier comp. They don't want to do that.
Tornado.
It's baffling to me that
they are forced to keep at a distance.
Ooh,
this is where
Vulcan.
the range DPS of Odyssey are going to take over and why they won this fight.
Exactly.
The flight response has again been activated. There it is.
I still hate the
Orisa
Soldier
from
pick,
Rhino.
man. Okay, Faffer, do you have any idea why they're playing Soldier? Because I have no idea why they're playing Soldier. Like, Soldier is like probably one of the worst DPS you could play here. He's like the worst range hit scan you could play here. I'd unironically prefer them to stay McCree over Soldier. I do not understand.
We know that they love.
Like Ashe, Widow, Kree, even Hanzo would be better than Soldier. Angles, right? But where are you? Like, I get what you're saying, but like, where is he going to angle that other DPS can't? Because there's no real flanks here. Because even Hanzo could like abuse this like high ground up here better, you know, or this go over here. Like, I feel like there's no like actual long leg sight lines that you can like flank around and be funny with. I do too. I think Hanzo, Ashe, and Widow would be better at actually the flanks than Soldier on this
From
point.
Fusion. We know
Okay,
they love to play.
this is a pretty concerning fight though for Odyssey because like they don't have any ultimates. They don't really have anything besides Window to stop Tornado from just W King. But Ultraviolet's also going to come up in Window, and I think this comp, once you close the distance, I think this comp is just better. Especially considering that you're staying on the D.Va to you're staying on D.Va like for the ult game, right? Which there's no ults right now. Which means that your neutral is just a lot worse because there's a lot less shield pressure. So Reiner can just take a lot more space, especially, again, because of the soldier. There's just so much less pressure on this team. These guys are so, like, vanilla, so low pressure.
And this is a pretty good area for the Arrested, to be fair. Double damage from that fusion driver is going to tear.
And they're just going to go right through it.
Shield.
It's a good Maywall from Spilo, but
Reiner, please, corner, please. Like, you've closed the distance. Now, all American Tornado needs to do is just go tuck into here, and they're fine. Like,
it's a good Maywall from Spilo, but I don't think they capitalize on it. Meanwhile, Reiner's getting pushed in by an Orisa of all things. So, this is a struggle for American Tornado. They've lost support, they've lost Reiner. You just got Reiner. Die on cart. Go next fight. You have 3 minutes, and that's a lot of tries. That's a lot of ult cycles.
Against the Soldier 76.
Like, okay, this is all we need to see about Reiner.
About 3 minutes.
Look at my boy. Look at this is Reiner's Reinhardt right here. Look at my boy. Ready? Ready, chat? Ready?
Cycles.
Clunk! Oh gosh.
Against the Soldier 76 and Orisa, Lyman, Reiner's shield is essentially made out of chocolate.
And that's a really rough fight to lose as well, because you were coming up on a couple of ultimates that would have been impactful. But the big thing is that this was a freaking window and they won the team fight. And now Visor's, Visor, but the thing is they've got Beat now, they're gonna have Bongo, they're gonna have Blizzard, and really this is gonna be Bomb, excuse me, and they're gonna have Blizzard really fast as well. So it's like Odyssey, like obviously both teams build ults relatively equal, but these guys built more ult charge because they won the fight, so the 3 kills, right? But also the concern is obviously that like if these guys have ults when they have long sightlines, it's going to be really hard to close the distance safely. Like that's a concern here. Like because Odyssey has a serious give me 1 second, chat. Because they have a serious range advantage on that first initial bit, I'm a little concerned. Oh, chat, we did it. Our Reddit post finally went up. The Mercy write-up. Let me put it in Discord. So yeah, Mercy mains, check this one out. Another 2,000 word write-up. So I'm gonna gouge my eyes out. It had to be approved for a while. Sorry, I was checking it because it's like long posts apparently now have to get approval from the moderators, and so I got approval finally.
Right now, it's just melting the second that it gets out into the sun.
So I'm concerned that if we get Bongo before they close the distance, that's gonna be rough.
Visor, but Dove's likely
well,
just
I mean, maybe they won't.
If you see OG get a little
bit
we're
only
frisky
83
with
now.
Positioning, just allows you to farm up the Lucio for free. Otherwise,
it's a good
it
rotation
just
here.
your DPS
This is good. A little more cover here.
It would be advisable against the larger bulk of American Tornado.
I don't understand, chat. I just don't understand.
And this is a smart move. As soon as you see,
I don't understand.
Against the larger bulk of American Tornado.
Wouldn't you want to
be advisable against the larger bulk?
First off, the bomb is kind of weird.
American Tornado.
It's not quite placed where I'd want it to. But also, why are we bombing and high nooning at the same time? This only makes sense if you do this right here, you bomb here and then you high noon from a flank. So they all hide from this threat and they end up running into this. Can you see how he almost gets Luke from this here? But I don't think this is the play.
So it wouldn't be advisable
because I don't think you can get a good enough flank angle from this sightline here for this to work. Odyssey stacked. Yeah, I don't know what was up with that.
And this is a smart move.
But
as soon as you see that,
I don't know, chat. I don't like that play.
Orisa shield come down. You throw the self-destruct behind, force them forward, and American Tornado tried to push in off of that
huge Visor,
but didn't really get much out of it. And now you got a super try to push in.
And now, so many resources have been drained out of American Tornado because of, the Visor and because of them closing the distance. And they've used 2 ultimates, and all they really got was Lamp. They didn't really force much else. If you're gonna use 2 ults, you need to get something out of it. All they did was force Lamp. That's really it. They force Lamp and they force Wall, and that's it.
Force them forward, and
Rhino gets out. Yikes.
Tornado
I
trying
don't
to
know,
push in off of that self-destruct, but didn't really
Big
get much out of
Mongo,
it.
and now that they're all bled dry, they just go in.
Inside the room, American
Bomb as
Tornado,
well.
goal number 1 is to go after that, but it's too little, too late.
Ooh,
50%
clean.
more damage is gonna hurt.
They didn't get much space
And
either,
American
yeah.
Tornado
Weird overlapping of ultimates to accomplish the same thing.
The Orisa is undoubtedly powerful, and American Tornado are having a lot of trouble closing this distance right now, even with the
I don't think the
usage
Zarya
of
is going to be
cover.
better. I don't think the Zarya is going to be very clear. I think the Zarya is actually worse. Like, you want to close the distance and brawl these guys, and D.Va's going to help you close the distance so much more. So much more. Yeah, the Zarya swap is questionable.
They have available, there's just a lot of physical cover.
I don't know if it's just like, hey, let's just build a grab and just win it or what.
They have the sound barrel. There's just a lot of physical cover for Odyssey to play with as well. If they need it, they have the sound barrier, but King's going in deep and has placed down the Blizzard.
That's a free Blizzard too, especially
I mean,
falls on the
I
Zarya
don't-
now, so that should freeze
I
up
don't
a
know.
bunch of American Tornado.
I don't know
have
what to tell
any
you, chat.
tanks. And like we said before, everybody
I
else
don't know
just
what to tell
dies
you.
after that. There is no running, especially with from
And
all
you
the
get no
range
Zarya
of
ult
Dove
charge.
and Rhino that can shoot while American
Okay.
Tornado are running.
This has to be American Tornado's fight to win. This has to be it. This has to be it. Because they've got matching beats coming up on window, high noon, blizzard, shatter, and these guys have no actual shield break ults. All they have is beat. They have nothing that
saving that
actually
fight.
stops Odyssey from pressing W that isn't mirrored by American Tornado.
American Tornado, they finally have
American Tornado
maybe a
should
saving
win this
coup de
fight.
grace
I know they
in
win this
the
map,
Blizzard from
but I don't
Spilo.
know if they win
still
this
have to
fight.
weave
But it
past
should
Vulcan,
be
and
this fight.
Freezing up Vulcan's going to be quite difficult with the stationary arrested
There's the
shield.
aggression.
It's a charge from Reiner. It forces out the wall. That could be a little bit of a bonus for him. Spilo wants to freeze that D.Va. You know what comes after that goes down?
Yeah, they must win this fight.
A Blizzard.
A bonus stationary arrested shield.
The problem here is, like, you can see, this is like why I hate the soldier, is like there's no real splits that this comp can take. So they are very vulnerable to just being run down, right? There's no real split. Like, if you like, that's why double shield worked, is because you could always split your Orisa and Sigma, right? You could have like an Ashe or whatever on an angle. Like, they're all stacked up. So this Maywall from
That's a charge from Reiner.
you know,
It
like this is really annoying for this comp to deal with. This Maywall right here, right? This Blizzard can potentially freeze 3 or 4 people, right? There is no like actual like, oh, we're pulling these guys apart by the seams. Like, this is just brawl, like 2 teams punching each other in the mouth directly at each other. And I'm sorry, but this hero is better than this hero at doing that. This hero is better at this hero at doing that. And so it's just over. Like, you have 2 heroes that there's clear advantage of this over Soldier and this over Orisa. At least if you can close the distance safely, which we can, and that's it. Like, this should be it right here.
That could be a little bit of a bonus for him. Spilo wants to freeze that D.Va. You know what comes after that goes down?
A Blizzard
Should be
is
it.
down there at Matrix, and everything but the kitchen sink from American Tornado collapsing onto Odyssey and Supercharger. It'll matter. Tornado.
They deserved it. They deserved it. The goofy comp swaps at the end just kind of like, just was like, if you're gonna play it, don't play Soldier. I don't know what Dove was doing.
Drop off.
Cap. Do you have any questions so far? Any questions? Like, I want to take a quick pause just because we've gone 2 maps. I'm probably not gonna be able to go through all of this, unfortunately, chat, because I do have to go in like a little over an hour, or right at an hour. Soldier best hero. I mean, you can see it right there. He like, the only way you could play Soldier there is like, I mean, I don't even know. I honestly just don't know how you play Soldier there. Any questions? Are you going to be reviewing the flash ops at some point or not? No. Nope. It's just, the changes were way too goofy and way too hard to track. It was like, oh, do this and 2 turrets. And I'm like, what? And it was honestly way too many games to review as well. So it was also like a kind of a troll thing a little bit. So, but yeah. It looked fun, but just not something I'd be interested in reviewing. What's a general macro playing Brawl on long sightlines like Havana? I mean, not really different from other maps. The only thing I would say is maybe like it opens up your McCree to do longer flanks because there's less likely of a chance that the D.Va is going to be able to like hunt him down and kill him. So like you can play in a longer, like almost like sniper Cree, because the D.Va can't like fly an int. Like obviously you have fall off to worry about, but that's all you really have to worry about. Because like there's nothing really stopping you from. So it really allows McCrees to go for like legit funny flanks. And that's the brawl mirror, to be fair, to be very clear, excuse me. Well, Roar Live, the thing is like playing stacked is easier to understand. You just kind of run in and kill people. And playing split's a little harder to understand. And it's also with Brawl, not everybody splits. And Brawl always plays more stacked versus non-Brawl mirrors. So what we're going over was we're going over Brawl mirrors. Even versus the Orisa D.Va Soldier. More of a Brawl mirror. That's more of a Brawl comp, considering they're playing BAP and Lucio and D.Va and May. More of a Brawl comp, right? So when you're going over Brawl mirrors, it does come down to more splits, right? Whereas when you're playing Brawl into Spam, Brawl into Dive, you might split, but very little. It'll be mostly sticking together, rushing and clearing, like that. Why did AT not take right side high ground and set up a Kree? Is that a bad play? No, that's not a bad play. That would have been good. That would have been a very good play. You set up there with high ground with your Reinhardt, and that Orisa will have to rotate back, and then you can drop. And that basically gives you that initial little corner for free. That would have been a great play. Okay, we keep going. Hey, kitty. Hi. It's not time yet. She thinks it's time to EAT. No, you got at least an hour. I keep knocking out my earbuds. All right, let's do this, boys. Let's have some fun. This is gonna be Eichenwald. Chat. I'll let you guys pick the last map. Eichenwald. Volskaya. Or Lijiang. Eichenwald, Volskaya, or Lijiang. So to be clear, Eichenwald is like Brawl and Dive hybrids. Volskaya is Spam Dive hybrid. And Lijiang is some pharmacy funny stuff. Some goofy Dive hybrid stuff. And then some Symmetra Junkrat crazy cringe stuff. I'm gonna put the chat. I'll put a poll. Put a poll in chat. Give it up. Ike, Brawl. This is Spam Dive. Volskaya, Spam Dive mostly. I think there might have been some dive as well. Volskaya and Lijiang was dives, brawls, Junkrat. You guys vote and go. Should be in chat. Current poll on your chat window. Yeah, you guys know I'm really cool because I say Eichenwald, not Eichenwald, like the cringe, boring weirdos. Eichenwald. All right, we'll give just a couple more seconds. It's looking good for Eichenwald. Eichenwald. Crud. Okay. Oh no. Oh no, chat. It's tied. Okay, it's a tie. We have to do a random number generator. If it's a 1, if it's an even, it's Ike. If it's odd, it's Volskaya. Okay, it's Volskaya. Sorry, boys. We're doing Volskaya. I'm pretty sure Odyssey wins this one. So American Tornado won Eichenwald. I distinctly remember that Odyssey kept trying to force like goofy dive stuff, and American Tornado was just legit, just clearing out angles, and there just wasn't enough sightlines for the dive spam to work, and like the brawl was just too strong. I'm pretty sure, which makes sense. Like that's especially on like first and third point, like there aren't a lot of sightlines to get good spam in. So that's where like the brawl diff, like we've already seen Odyssey doesn't look as comfortable on the brawlier style comps. How random was it? I mean, it was 1 through 100. I got 81, so that's an odd number. Okay, let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go
aggressively. Lucamino here could be in deep trouble, and we might even see Rack Attack have to swap over again.
Okay, first off, we have to stop and go, what the heck are American Tornado running? So we know Odyssey like the spammier style dive style heroes. They've looked better in that, and American Tornado have looked better in the brawlier style heroes. Again, I question this. Like, this is kind of a weird comp. I think this map is way too good for spam to not play some form of spam. And I also think if you're going to play some form of spam, like, to me, this just straight up, like, I feel like this loses to brawl, and this doesn't do particularly well against dive. So what I would have liked is maybe, like, if you want to play a brawlier style, like, put, like, I don't know, chat. I'm trying to think, what would I want? Honestly, probably just go full brawl, man. I don't know. Go full brawl. No, wait. But I don't know. I feel like this is the map where you kind of need to either play like a hard dive. Like maybe you could have played like Sombra, like put Speedily and Echo, go like on a brig Sombra with like a ball D.Va or something like that, and you have some win conditions against brawl, right? You can like spam them out with like your pocketed Echo. You have a nano to farm up eventually. You can pull them out from multiple different angles. You know, I don't know if Wub even plays Sombra though. Like this is just where I feel like the lack of ability to play flankers by American Tornado's current roster is a problem. Ash double bubble, yeah, that would have been okay. This is just goofy. Like this is like brawl, but bad brawl, because this is a Moira who's only good against like hard dive. But then you don't have like anything to keep McCree up, because McCree dies. The Moira isn't very good at supporting McCree, because if it gets hard dove, Lamp is just way better than like Heal Orb. I don't know. This is just scuffed as all get out. This is just a bad comp. Like I'm not saying that they're idiots. Like there's obviously logic behind it, but I think either hero pools or roster decisions, or like I don't know. I think you just have to play. I think Ball is too good here. I think Spam is too good here. I mean, just put Wub and Ash, man. Like, Wub's a good Ash. Like, he could do it. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
On to a Baptiste.
Sigma's going to farm this. Well, no, Sigma's not going to farm this comp.
Ultraviolet's just already on the Moira.
I'm curious to see what they do.
And this is just because
the only thing that they could really do is just, like, to hold choke for a little bit, back off towards point, and then eventually rotate and hopefully kill somebody.
More mobility and escapability.
Maybe you could choke out Luke Minos. Yeah, see, you see Sigma forcing point, forces them to drop. Now they can no longer rush on Luke Mino. Nice job.
Don't like that.
Good,
so
well done by Odyssey.
Away and hopefully buy yourself time for the rest of the team to turn around and look at Sigma. That's all you need.
Do you see how they're pulling them apart? Do you see Odyssey's positioning here?
And hopefully buy
this is a great snapshot right here.
Rest of the team.
Zen, Ball, D.Va, Tracer, Ash. Look at that. And Ash will rotate your, or maybe even go high ground, right? Pulling them apart.
Team to turn around and
Sigma is a Korean Tracer player. Gaming Horizon very well could be that case, but I still think the comp is dog. I think you can't be scared of Sigma. You just have to be better. It's a team diff, you know. It's not an individual diff.
And look at Sigma. That's all you need, because obviously the Baptiste immortality is great, can be shot by the Tracer. So we'll see.
So they're gonna go hunting for right. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Do you see this, chat? Do you see this? Do you see this? They go go get the Zen. But as they go get the Zen, look what Rhino's doing.
Immortality is great, can be shot by the Tracer.
Look what the Ash is doing. Look what the Tracer's doing. Look at what Vulcan's doing. You see it?
Also, the Coalesce is going to help.
They just can't do it. They just can't.
American Tornado just defending right on the point.
So they rush in, but they also rush in straight forward. If you were to rush Zen here, the play would be to bait them in, rotate to high ground, and clear Zen that way. Force Zen to drop. You can continue to chase, or you can double back to point, because once you double back to point, you have now forced the Zen all the way back on main, and you've reset his rotation, which means that now he's no longer doing damage to you. So you push out, you force the Zen out, and then you go back to main. And you do that once or twice, like either push a flank, rush them out, and then go back to main, and then by then you'll have your Coalescence, and then you can actually hard push something.
Sigma just gets a squeak
but it's
by.
over. Like it's over.
Trying to go
it's
unnoticed,
over.
But American Tornado now taking shelter in the Mega Pack room.
AT have backed off here and allowed them access.
Again, hunting for Zen, but Luke Mino's not a moron.
The same can be said of Dove right now. No one can really touch him unless a good shot is hit by Speedily. Sigma
doesn't even need to get kills here. Just needs to put pressure.
It's time to make a tactical insertion.
You run Tracer here because she can set up on that distraction position. Not because she does a lot of damage there, but just because she is a constant distraction.
In the shadows, and as soon as the rest of the team get everyone low enough, he comes and play rush at all. He just play hide. We'll see what Odyssey can do now on point B.
Their brawl comp will be a little better here because the sightlines are a little shorter.
Just that they needed to take a faster engagement, but
you could still get on high ground and do work.
allowing themselves to be surrounded here, and I feel like they could have used their speed a little bit.
Ooh, no, that ain't it. That is not it.
American Tornado, they're allowing themselves to be surrounded here, and I feel like they could have used.
Not it. Running it down mid, isn't it? Especially if they have a support ult to stabilize. If they had Valk or Trans here, this push is dead in the water. Unless you had beat as well, which they don't.
A little bit better. Odyssey are
Great
likely
Bob.
to win this fight. They've almost got 6 ultimates ready to go. Bob's already on the point, and everyone else is as well.
That's a yeet.
Map is now
That's
flipped.
a yeet that American Tornado were not ready
And the Bob
for.
is just clutching.
And quite courageous to throw a blizzard that
And now
far.
they're pulled
And
apart.
there's a
You see
D.Va
that,
on the
chat?
other
They
side,
forced
but
it
that
down
was
main.
got zero
It's
value,
over.
and that's a swap.
It's
Spilo will be
over.
back on
And they
the
still
Tracer.
don't have any
American
ults yet.
Tornado,
You know, so
meanwhile,
it's not, all they've been able to use is Cole.
engagement, but it's a little bit too
And
late when
Blizzard,
Wub
to be
gets
fair.
dove by Vulcan. And he leaves himself.
Yeah, I mean, it's
a
just
strap
over, chat. It's just over.
No.
You don't run it on mid. I see you, Faffer. Yeah, you don't run it down mid. You need to avoid running it down mid. If you are going to aggress like that, the best way to have done it would have been to set up in this building here and to drop and rush it this way, where you could have had the element of surprise and you would not have taken spam along the way. Or you could hold hard held high ground, make them take time to spam you off, and then again, you could drop and pincer, or if they don't spam you off, you can drop from high ground itself and push. You cannot run it on mid. You cannot run it on mid. You cannot run it on mid against spam. You cannot run it on mid against spam. Against any team that knows how to play spam properly, they're already set up here and here and here and here. And as you run it down mid, you're literally running the gauntlet. You're literally running the gauntlet. And especially when, I mean, did we even have to pop trans here? Did we even pop trans? I assume we did.
Yeet. That's a
Yeah,
yeet.
they walk, they run it down mid, they trans, and then all of that rush is wasted. All of that rush is wasted, and nobody on this team can actually like shoot anything because they're all rushing it down. Like, I just know. No. And the thing is like comp isn't even that good at running it down mid, right? Like you're running a Kree May. Like if you were to run it down mid here, you want like a Tracer or something that's a little more flexible. And
A little bit better.
no good.
Good.
Rush well.
Poor execution.
Tornado for
So you have eyes kill.
And not a great comp either.
the point in that area just
Divided and conquered on point B. So hopefully they fix up these mistakes.
I don't understand the Moira. I do not understand the Moira. I don't think the Moira is necessary against Sigma. Like, I know he's a good tracer, but it's just ball tracer. You know you're going to run into Zen. You know you're going to run into Ashe. You know you're going to run into Mercy. This is not hard dive. This is just ball tracer. And if your Lucio, Kree, and D.Va can't keep a Baptiste alive, what the heck are you doing? I do not understand. The only logic I see is that I assume that they're going to be rotating very quickly and trying to chase Luke Mino down. In that instance, sure, go for it. But it better be executed well, because if that win condition doesn't work, there's no reason to run Moira. So chat, what I mean is that what they're going to do is they're going to rotate right, they're going to go clear the stairs, they're going to rotate all the way here, they're going to rotate all the way there, and they're literally going to run a ring around the Rosie over and over and over again with their Lucio speed until they catch Luke Mino or they catch Dove. They're not going to go to point. They're not going to look for a short sight lane. No, they're literally just going to rotate. And you run that with a Moira because Moira doesn't need to stop. Moira can fade. Moira can heal her. Moira can heal on the way. She's a little squishy. That's the only advantage. It looks like they're forcing a lot of rush. Yeah.
Rush,
From what I remember, they played
Thought about
mostly
the
rush
Baptiste,
and rush
sticks to
variants.
the Moira needs that fade to escape away.
well, we're going to be able to take advantage here off the mega health.
Keep going, keep going. You need to keep going. You need to keep going. Go. And again, and to be honest here, chat, like this is another situation where I'm questioning the McCree as well. Like I get it, Wub probably doesn't want to Tracer like against Sigma, you know, but like you don't have to even take the duel. Like just play Tracer to just like harass, like pincer on the Zen or keep Sigma busy or something. Like this is again, like these heroes are just so bad into this comp, like so bad into this comp. This is where free Hydran. I don't know what was going on
right now.
but free Hydran, boys.
Eventually make a good engagement. They're actually hit upon first.
You have to keep going, and they stop and they go to point. This isn't gonna work. You're not gonna be able to go to point. It's not gonna work. You're running a Moira. You have no sustain. You have no poke. You have nothing to pressure. Like right now, who's gonna be poking out? Like you need BAP to poke this out. You need BAP to pressure Dove a little bit. You need BAP to continue to heal this and not run out of resource.
Touched first.
Like, here's your BAP shift. Let's just watch the ball of urine float into the distance.
Sweep it in
You need BAP to shoot this.
now, hoping to go unnoticed, and he most likely is, but one fade.
And you lose your Moira anyway. Like, And then look at this. Look at this. Oh gosh, guys, you don't press W like that. You needed to continue to rotate. If you're gonna drop the point, the only thing you can do is just turtle, right? You turtle. You don't chase because you're sitting on main.
Fatal mistake is just the end. So Tracer is so squishy, but they picked up ultraviolet.
Cole is better versus dive than window. Yeah, that's also true.
Was used,
but
so
but like it's worthless. Like they played Moira, so they could sit AFK and sit on point, and then they sat AFK in point, and then they tried to run from point. Awful.
This out, all
Awful.
collapse on that, and Wub also.
Let's compliment Odyssey though, so let's just not be negative.
Oh,
Good positioning by Vulcan. You notice the split there. Sigma's pursuing. Sigma's splitting off.
Jostling for position right now.
You see this here?
Will American Tornado.
Good pressure from Dove. He times this engage with Rhino. Rhino probably went a little early, but that's fine. He probably was anticipating them to continue to rotate, so he thought this is when I need to go. Because that's what I thought that they were going to go.
Actually hit upon first here by Rhino, and again,
Sigma, all of them are aggressing at the same time. Like, this is great. We've got 1, 2, 3, at least 3 angles of attack. Luca's like, okay, I guess I can stay high ground. Like, all right, let's go. Like, I'm like, what? I get to stay high ground? All right, like, let's go.
He mostly is, but one fatal mistake is just the end. So Tracer
yeah, like, look
is
at
so
this.
squishy, but
look at the pincer here, chat. Like, look at the pincer, you know? Like, holy cow. Like, what? What do you do against this with this comp?
And this is even after the
BAP is infinitely better than neutral, yes. And again, yeah, Cole is better against dive, but this isn't really true dive either. So Cole isn't super good against this comp either.
American Tornado falling after that. It's an easy defense fight win for Odyssey.
GG's. Honestly, like, Odyssey might full hold here. I don't remember how this map goes, but they could very easily full hold. Now they go this comp. Which I actually like. I don't think this is good, but I don't think this is bad. So you're gonna mirror, but you're gonna run a Kree instead of the Ashe. So let's talk about the strengths and benefits of Kree. The strengths of Kree is he's much better than Ashe in a shorter sightline, and he provides flashbang, which obviously is like an additional issue for balls and tracers to deal with. So this backline is going to be a little bit tankier. So Rhino and Sigma are going to have to be a little bit extra careful. I don't think it's as good though. I still think their comp is worse because the sightlines here are so oppressively long that I just think Ashe gets way too much done here. So I do not think American Tornado has a good comp here, but they have a much better comp. And obviously Wub might just not be as confident on the Ashe. It might be that he's scared to play attack Ashe when there's Sigma on the flank. I'm just glad to see that they actually swapped. My problem is that, you know, we're a minute 20 in, and we're like, this is gonna be on the ropes here. Pincer.
Like, you don't have to worry about giving away too much.
You see how they're marking speedily?
And now
like, screw speedily. Do not let the guy out.
Their rush composition really isn't getting much use here, and they're going to go showing a little
like, look
bit
what Sigma's doing. Gets Harmony Orb.
The main difference is being a Brigitte being present to try and deal with Sigma.
And like, no dive for you, Senior. You know, we don't have a Brig for our Zen, so this backline is basically undiveable. So we're not going to even worry about your backline. Sigma's just going to hard mark speedily, and Rhino's going to hard mark Reiner, and these guys are literally just going to stalemate. And if we stalemate, our damage boost on our Ashe is going to beat your crappy armor pack into McCree. Peasants. Posture check, thank you.
As well, instead of an Ashe.
Sigma's like, okay, I can take this Hammond on.
Look how slow this is. Sigma has to be careful here. But like, see how long that takes? And now, look, they have to rotate into this sight line. Oh no, they don't know, chat. They don't know.
He knows
it's not gonna feel good.
Up there, he can come from behind, maybe pulse the support, but Sigma's also choosing his engagements very carefully. Wants to only engage when they don't know he's there. So that's why he didn't go for engagements. I don't know what I would do here.
I'm trying to think. With the McCree, I probably would. I'm honestly with the McCree. With the McCree, what I would probably do is favor right sightline. I would probably flank out this right side, clear this high ground with McCree, Brig, and Zen, and then drop to underneath and maybe put like my D.Va on point. Because if my Kree can play in Mega and he shoots anything that's on point, he does comparable damage to Ashe. It's when you start playing on the high ground to high ground sightline, that's where the Ashe is oppressive. So to me, I think you go this way and you get your backline inside Mega to where your McCree is actually like has a decent like a good a range that's more favorable to him, and then you're not worried about, oh, we're all cramped inside Mega, because they can't dive you inside Mega. I don't think this is the rotation I would do with Kree. I don't think. I think they could just run away from you, and then the sightline's still long.
Only engage when they
But I'm
don't
not sure.
know he's there.
I haven't thought about it enough to have an
But
opinion.
American Tornado approaching the point slowly.
This is what I don't like, though. This I don't think this is the play.
Make any mistakes starting to
You're doing a good job pressuring Rhino, though.
that second tick. D.Vas are
No, you need to wait. Wait. My God.
dueling out. Spili's there with the assist, but they also need to access Dub before he gets that Bob online.
Weird minds.
Spili's there with the assist. Make any mistakes.
Reiner's having a
starting
really
to
hard
gather
time.
That second tick. D.Vas are dueling out. Spili's there with the assist.
Gets
but they also need
discorded
to
and then
access
gets
Dub
stuck.
before he gets that Bob online.
Right, they're falling low right now, and we're going to try and channel this.
To access
What?
Dub
Rack
before he
attack?
gets that Bob online.
Right, they're falling low right now, and we're going to try
Oh, rack attack feeds. This might just be an ult.
very fast Deadeye, and Rack Attack falls victim to it.
It's not a very fast Deadeye. He was on Deadeye in the first fight, mate. It's very slow Deadeye. It's an over 2-minute Deadeye.
Right now,
Maybe he thought that he was on a different hero.
Very fast Deadeye, and Rack Attack falls victim to it. The only person you can't
What?
res is a very
Ultraviolet
fast
just is
Deadeye,
like,
and
alright, our
Rack
comp
Attack
sucks,
falls
everybody
victim
sucks,
to it.
I'm just gonna
The
kill
only
people
person you
myself.
can't res is
That's just how it
yourself,
is, y'all.
and Ultraviolet's gonna
Sorry.
strike through as well. This is what I wanted to see. The mirrored compositions, Lemon. Just use the guns, shoot them.
Struck. Spito's tornado. It's on. Sit down. Maybe you get him like.
Alright, I'm skipping too far ahead. Okay.
Access Dub before he.
So Rhino gets greedy. Like, really, like, in all actuality, like, there is really no reason for Rhino to rush too
D.Vas
much.
are dueling out. Spili's there with the assist.
So the mines get kited pretty easily, and obviously it ends up not doing a whole lot. But that's okay. Whatever. You get a kill. Just chill. Just chill. We need to peel off Luke. Rack attack leaves
Spili's there with the
Luke.
assist, but they also need to access Dub before.
Yeah, see, this is not good. This is there's no point to this. I'm not sure what the plan was here. Like, dive with mines, like, go really aggressive with mines, but I don't like this play. You need to play your long sightlines. You can play aggressive around your long sightlines. Instead, I see Dove pressing W in here aggressively, even the mines aggressively as well, or at least maybe not aggressively, but certainly aggression from here. And what does this do? Look at Luke.
Before he gets that Bob online.
Luke gets clipped, has to trance, because Rack Attack leaves him to go help Dove. Vulcan also prioritizes helping Dove, who's like feeding his brains out instead of peeling Luke. And Rhino's out of the fight. And so now we have the superior range spam comp playing on a really long sightline, and then all of a sudden deciding to we're just going to run into you for whatever reason. Playing right into the McCree Briggs strengths. And not only that, but they're giving up the space while they're doing that. Look at Luke.
Right, they're falling low.
Off of high ground.
Right now, and we're going to try and channel.
And then obviously Rack Attack dying there is goofy too. So you see that? And now Dove's on the floor. So this is just bad. This is poor play from Dove. There's no reason to go aggressive here. Maintain your sight lane. If you're gonna aggress like over here. You guys can't see that, but like over here, or over here, or over here, or over here, you know, like something that makes a lot more sense. Like a long spam sight lane. You're playing a sniper hero, and they run in with no real Q2. Like, there's no real reason, like, oh, we're just gonna go in because they're all 1 HP. No, there's no reason for that. And that forces
Dub before he gets that Bob online.
this guy almost dies, forces Trance, forces Valk, and gets Dove killed. And gets Rack Attack killed.
Right, they're falling low.
Now, Rack Attack should not have been flying that high, but basically 1, 2, 3, 4 ults used, and they still lose the fight. Or they're in a position to lose the fight. And they give up the space as well. No high ground control anymore. Completely gone. Very, very poor macro.
Right now,
both teams have this awful habit of pressing W in the worst spaces possible. This is literally the same error. You guys remember on third point Havana attack when they like windowed their spawn? Same garbage. Same garbage. This stuff can't happen. Very, very sloppy. It's the same mistake.
The mirrored compositions, Lemon. Just use the guns, shoot them.
False goes in a little
The
aggressive.
mirrored compositions, Lemon. Just use the
Ooh,
guns,
false
shoot
clips. Or Lucamino clips false,
The
dude.
gospel from
Holy
like
moly.
they just shoot them forehead. Meanwhile, you got a self-destruct.
Oh,
The
Rhino!
gospel from like they just shoot them
Rhino with the clutch!
forehead.
Is he gonna do an
Meanwhile, you
Oasis
got a
again?
Self-destruct. Speedo's like, okay, I'm just gonna blink away.
Oh, they're all on
And that's
point.
second
That's
tip from
not
American
good.
Tornado. It's Odyssey.
Luke is
You
on the
gotta die,
Lucia!
you gotta touch. You gotta pick one. And I think Vulcan is there. Instantly
I don't think this is
burst it
winnable.
down. Maybe
But
Rhino's
they're
hanging
gonna
around.
scare him though. They're gonna scare him.
Whatever Odyssey are doing, maybe not going to win this fight, but man, did you take a lot of time away from American Tornado. But
Yeah, there
this
you
is
go.
looking
See, they
slightly
scared him.
winnable. Sigma
Wait,
Chill bash,
Bob?
but nobody turns
Oh,
around to
Bob is
deal
so
with them.
bad. Oh no, the
They're
Bob
getting
doesn't go where it needs to
slightly
go.
winnable. Sigma even gets shield bashed, but
The Bob gets booped, I
Nobody
guess.
turn-
But the Bob had to hit here. Otherwise, this fight's not winnable.
turned around to deal with them.
Because you need an angle
Tornado
with it,
with
right?
the
You need an angle
rally,
and he can
now
contest point
losing
from there too.
complete control of the situation,
should be
not
it.
even on the objective anymore.
They
This
rally
is
as well, though. You'll
looking
trade Bob for rally, I
pretty
think.
Scary.
Even
I think
if
that's a bad
Odyssey loses
trade.
this fight, forcing both for support ultimates is a huge boon.
oh,
Wub hits the flank, is still down on the point, and that's going to limit the...
I mean,
He's
I don't like
one
reviewing this
but
stuff
I
because it's
don't
just
know if he's
chaos.
got Tornado. There's hang around and confirm point.
Eventually getting it to work, it looks...
Hey, you take that. You take that. You take that if you're Odyssey, because it's like, yeah, you traded ultimates, but you didn't trash your comp. Like your comp is still serviceable, like right, and you burned a lot of ults from American Tornado. They did build up ults back as well, but you wasted a lot of time in the meantime. You wasted another minute and a half. So you lost the fight, but you lost the fight after wasting another minute and a half, and that wasn't just OT time, right? That wasn't just OT time. Overtime time, excuse me. It wasn't just overtime. I don't want to have to repeat myself. But yeah, okay, let's see it.
The map only to die
Again,
this time, but we'll get a very quick...
Are we going to see, not again, but are we going to be able to see this composition be able to just W key in fast enough and make it work? We'll see.
A very quick reset. And
W
I'm
key
interested
in,
the
we will see.
Odyssey.
Overtime
Now
time.
decided to go for
I don't know.
what was
I have no idea
mostly
what was going through my head
popularized
there.
by the Houston Outlaws in
Or what was not
2020's
going through my head.
Rush support.
Weird that he's
This
on
is
the
all about
floor,
taking
though.
very, very quick engagements and overwhelming a vulnerable Zenyatta. You don't want to take a long fight with this
So
composition.
Ultraviolet needs to build trance.
Yeah,
You'd love to build a rally here. Like you'd
Keep messing with
love
Dub.
to
He's
build a
gonna
rally.
have another dynamite and another.
Notice that they herd
Engagements
speedily
and
out. Look at that.
overwhelming
The
a vulnerable
priority
Zenyatta.
for Sigma
You don't
is
wanna
getting rid of
take
speedily.
a long fight with this
And Rhino as
composition.
well. Get rid of speedily.
Yeah, if you keep messing with Dub, he's gonna have another dynamite and another.
Look at that. Look at that. Now Speedily is in his own backline. Because obviously Speedily isn't going to assassinate Rack Attack or Luke Mino. Or even Dove, really. It's not a really high chance of that, but he's in a better position to do damage, period, when he's there. And now that he's back with his backline, he's just no longer really a threat to anybody here. So that was good. They herded him back in.
Another Bob online. That's gonna be.
Angry Titans needs to try and... Or Angry Titans, holy cow. American Tornado needs to build Rally if they can. That way they can like Ultraviolet can be a lot more selective about what he trances, and that will give them the opportunity to take space into the more aggressive comp. But yeah, Speedily doesn't want to duel Sigma. I mean, yeah, absolutely not. I mean, he could get Harmony Orb in duel Sigma, but no.
Dangerous because that'll just stall out the point and
Okay,
another
Sigma
Bob
gets yoinked.
online. That's going to be dangerous because that'll just stall out the point. This is going to confuse American
Good stick.
Tornado.
You take that all day long. Brilliant. Hey, this is good. This is great. Now all they have to do is like build up their own rally. Wub survives with GG's. Wub is on range.
Tornado, and go they shall go right towards the
Double
point.
support ult, and he pulls the trigger too early.
Sorry, that's Ultraviolet Transcendent and a rally from OG. They have all the resources, but they need to match that with the damage. Finish off these kills, and they're doing that.
Okay, what happens here?
Stall out the
So we see
point.
double support
This
ult.
is gonna confuse American Tornado.
And that's not good.
It's a stick onto a tank, and the finish Vulcan is DMAC. This is the
I honestly
goal
believe.
side for American Tornado.
I honestly believe that trance was not necessary here. I do not think trance was necessary. I think this is a meh trance. Rally would have been fine here to stabilize and to continue to push.
And go they shall go right towards the point. Luke.
And then the rally.
that's
Okay, the hiding is fine. Basically just to kill Bob fast.
OG. They have all the resources,
And then this is unfortunate.
they need to match that with the damage. Finish.
They push in out of their space into a flank too deep instead of just maintaining the sightlines, right? They push in, and then Wub gets left by himself. Look at Wub's
And a
HP.
rally from OG. They have all the resources, but they need to match that with the damage.
Bang. If Wub survives there and they actually like play around their space better instead of like running in and getting beated,
Finish off these
they just
kills,
didn't
and
track
they're
beat.
doing
They didn't
that.
track beat, and
Plus
obviously Wub gets left
Now
behind.
Sigma seeking
Still
into the
winnable,
back.
but
You gotta be
very
careful
unlikely.
now because missing Wub.
Court now, no pack hits
Yeah.
the ground, but OG is going to be catching some fists of fury anyway.
Yeah. That was really Tornado's fight to win there. They needed to win that one. Wub got isolated, left by himself, and double support ult. That sucks.
Steam.
And really the other thing too is that like once again American Tornado, like they see like Lucio's low, but they run through a choke to go chase down a Lucio, which is why Wub got killed. They push outside of their space. You're gonna hear me say that over and over and over again because it's a common error, but it's also a common error for these teams.
Odyssey in the midst of a panic.
Because they're not a team that's gonna reset.
I like the Kree, by the way, a little better. The Ashes, I mean, the Ashes are actually pretty good too, but the Kree is like a little bit demands a little bit less peel, so it allows you guys to play a little bit more aggression, right? Like it's kind of funny that these guys have flip flopped. but it makes sense, right? Like the spammier, longer sightline, more centered around playing longer sightlines, more centered around playing shorter sightlines. There's like a synergy here, right?
As soon as, you know, they're 3 versus 6 or 4 versus 6.
And Bob is really strong on 2CP attack. I'm just concerned if they're going to get a Bob in time. I don't know.
4:31 for Odyssey, only a minute 20 left to cap.
They haven't clocked Sigma just yet, but
They need to
are
clear
going
out
be
Sigma.
quite quick on making sure
They need to get like Harmony Orbs and Reiner and Speedily and get rid of Sigma. Get rid of that guy.
Purchase from their engagement.
They go high ground.
Obviously going to be hanging back.
Dub
and
just
making sure
clicks
that they don't get
Wub.
any
I have no
purchase
idea what
from
happened
their
there.
engagement.
Like Wub just gets annihilated. Where is
Be
Wub? Is
quite
he going up
quick
the
on making
stairs?
sure that they don't get any
No, he's already up
purchase
on the
from
stairs.
their engagement.
He peeks early. He peeks, yeah, he peeks wide. He peeks way past the corner to get a click, and he just gets 2-tapped.
Going to be hanging back.
That's just a
little
mechanical
bit
play.
further. We're getting
Just a
quick
goofy
early, but it
micro
might be time to
misplay,
go.
mechanical, etc.
Passing
Duff,
right
if
on the
Reiner just needs to
ultraviolet
survive,
OG, he's on the Brigida for
that's
Might be time
unfortunate.
to go.
Rhino goes a little too aggressive. He does not need to leave ball form there. He sees he's not getting follow-up from Sigma, so he needs to just immediately roll out.
Oh, passing right on the ultraviolet OG. He's on the Brigida for a reason.
Okay.
And what a stick up from Speedily to finish off Rhino. And again, 6 versus 5, or at least now that Rhino's finished off, it's not looking too good for American Tornado. As long as Falls gets back in the mech, hopefully it's fine,
It's
but
messy,
Mine's on the point.
but the
Last
trades
little
obviously
present
favor
from
the
Rhino,
defenders
but
in
American
2CP,
Tornado
so
still don't have the clear road.
just kill the baby.
to
Yeah, it's
success,
not quite.
to victory. 42 seconds left, and they're about to lose the fight. And picks. These are fine, but American Tornado are just not ready to go until False is
And that's just the stall mines. That's just, hey, we might get the kill, we're gonna slow you down, you guys can't press W right now, whatever.
These mines like a mole that's trying to get underground. Wub sends in the dynamite, but they haven't really got too much off of it so far. But Rally's going to make sure that Odyssey are reinforced.
There's a
and hardy
trance,
and
but they don't have
haven't really
high
got too
ground.
much off of it so far. But Rally's
So
gonna make
I
sure
think that they should have taken the time to go back and clear high ground. You need to get this high ground here, otherwise it's too easy for them to pressure you here.
that Odyssey are reinforced and hardy in the
So they're
face
just going
of
to W
danger.
key on main, and this
Speedily
is just not going to work. Like, this is just not going to work. You've now W keyed on the point, but it's just not going to work. Like, your comp is just worse at that. This comp is better. They have Lucio, they have Kree, they don't have a squishier backline. They're better in the short ranges. Odyssey should win this.
desperately claws to try and get themselves access to a pulse bomb.
American Tornado climbing to this point, but have lost one on the journey there, and Speedily might have already won.
So really, the spam from American Tornado looked a little bit weaker. They didn't look as comfortable playing the Zenyatta variations. They basically got hard bullied out of space too consistently. Like Sigma was doing a really good job just holding angles, pressuring angles, they taking forever to rotate. So I think it was Sigma diff over Speedily, but also Wub did not look good on hit scan. He looked a lot more uncomfortable in hit scan. And then like that was a problem. And also like the forcing the brawl style. So it was like either their spam wasn't very good or they were trying to force a brawl, which just didn't work very well on this map. My only nitpicks for Odyssey is that, like, again, it just felt like sometimes they're too aggressively pressing W. Like on that first defense, there's really no reason for Odyssey very easily could have full health first. Very easily could have full health first. Just some disconnect with like how aggressively they should be pushing. The Ashe has a great sightline, the Zen has a great sightline. Why are you aggressively pressing W there? It doesn't make any sense. So I don't know, week 2 week ago? That's insane, Gaming Horizon. Holy moly. But yeah, I honestly don't know. So credit to Odyssey, because it definitely looks like they were the better team. It might have been a meta situation where like, you know, the maps that they played were just more friendly to spam, because I think American Tornado definitely has the potential to be good in Brawl or better than Odyssey in Brawl, but it wasn't enough.